about it.
You got an intro?
No intro. We're going in cold.
We're
Cold
going
straight
in
to the
cold?
Can we do the John Cena song?
Dun,
And
dun.
his name is John
Burr,
Cena.
burr, burr, burr.
Pa, pa, da, da.
You see, they fired or they got rid of the black guy that just wrestled him. I only know this because two of the dudes in my Discord are still huge wrestling fans, and I think it's funny.
I don't really watch guys hugging each other and laying on each other. It's just not my
Oh, we went
kind
live.
of
Hey,
thing.
it's literally June, dude. It is June. You cannot say that during the month of June. All
What did
right?
he? Wait, what did he
Let's
say? I missed
relax.
it.
He's
Say
I'm
it.
very bigoted, I guess. I
he was
apologize.
hating on dudes hugging other dudes. It's the month of June, all right?
Yeah, but more importantly, it's men's mental health awareness.
It's true.
Man, Herbie, your mental health does not matter. Okay, let's be honest here. Okay.
Wow. Even that we're off to a
Bald-
rough start tonight.
You should.
Okay,
What?
I got a question. What are these crowns in the chat? I
I
appreciate.
I don't know.
I
I want to
appreciate
know.
it, but I want to know what it is.
Are they on a plane?
You have a crown. You're
Why
number
do I
one.
have a crown?
you're number one.
Satria and you are number one.
What did
we
I
got
do?
Subdub in number 3. Tony's number 2.
What did I do?
I don't know. We got. Thank
If
you,
someone in
Celine.
the chat
I appreciate
actually knows what's going on with these little crowns, let me know because I'm a bad YouTuber and
I feel like we're on Twitch right now.
Yeah.
I have 0 XP.
I think you gotta talk more. Like
if you chat more, maybe you'll get a crown. Although it
I still
changed.
have
See?
0. Maybe
So
because I'm a
you
mod.
said 3 yeps, but one of them has a number 2 crown for some
Oh,
reason.
true. Yeah.
I see.
All right.
Points for
Anyways,
talking.
Anyways.
Well, we are here.
What's going on here,
what
folks?
episode is this? 48, something like that. We're still
feel like
around,
What it
almost
says,
to 50.
yeah. Look at that.
Almost had a really cool guest on, but he was sick, so maybe next week. It was
I
actually
feel
gonna be
like
a
that-
sick guest, and
I feel like
last
that
minute
Florida
was-
weather did like some people dirty
I think he
or whatever.
partied a little hard. Was
No.
actually the reason.
No.
Let's be
No.
honest. Hey, I would be celebrating if I was him. Let's be
I
honest
would.
here.
It's
Yeah,
true.
I mean,
yeah, I
I'd
would
be pretty.
too.
I'd be going pretty hard. He had a pretty good event, so little teaser for hopefully next week.
Yeah.
But guys, Orlando, bringing in some unique podium finishers here. Oh well, Odie's been there, done that. But I would argue a lot of the big names had some rough weekends, and
yeah.
it's one in Orlando is like a weekend where I wasn't really expecting that. I was expecting Dean and Osbo to be right up top, fighting with everyone else, and yeah, it didn't end up happening at all like that.
My man Dean getting knocked out by Mr. Rome Charpentier, which I thought could have gone one more time at least.
Really? I thought it was pretty clear cut. It was the Rome.
Yeah, it was.
It's
Didn't
just,
they
I
have one
mean,
more
like,
time, or was that the first battle? I can't remember.
there were a few different one more times, but I don't think that they did.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was just outright.
Yeah, there was a couple good one more times in there, and just Brandon. Obviously, you watched the stream, right? We were there filming it, doing our thing. You watched the stream.
Yep.
How was the judges in terms of getting in, talking about calls and stuff like that? And
They were good. It was like almost every other battle or so. Like Reese would hop on the mic and talk about calls.
It was the Reese show for sure.
I
It was
feel
pretty good.
So my question is, and it's interesting because Reese, I think it was in Atlanta, literally said, "Hey, you can talk to the other guys."
Yeah, I think when we were talking to him at Hyperfest.
Yeah.
And I was being an interview guy right there. And yeah, I mean, it is nice to finally get the judge's perspective more often.
So I wonder if that's just like his official job now is judge relayer.
They might have just filled him in because he does that, like he was doing the after show, and he was like pulling just certain like runs, like the controversial runs that people were talking about, and like actually just breaking them down. I forget what he called it, but that's what I assume is that because he was already doing that, that they're the breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be cool to hear Robbie and Egbert to be on the mic, or Vern when
Right.
he's there. Like,
Yeah.
Although I
Just-
feel like, I feel like they're not as eloquent in explaining as
mm-hmm,
Reese is. At least when
mm-hmm.
Reese is explaining it, Reese does it in a very um down to earth way, or like not. It's he doesn't. He tries to keep it not as technical per se,
Yeah.
or like in
Yeah. It's
layman's
like the
terms
audience
almost.
is like a 5-year-old and you're trying to
Yeah.
explain it to a 5-year-old in the most
Mhm.
detailed way possible, you know?
Like a bro. Like a bro 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Bro, 5-year-old.
that's
That's
cool. And if there's any battles you guys want to check out in chat, be sure to let me know. There's a couple that come to mind. For me, just it'll be interesting to kind of look at. One of them was the O'Sully TLO battle, and then right after that, the Mata Federico battle. How they interestingly went different ways on those calls. So that'll be a fun one to kind of look at.
Oh, the hits. Yeah.
Yep. And the thing is that transition's it's always like that, because especially if you get caught in the smoke, you have no idea where you're going in the chase, and you're just kind of hoping that the guy in front of you didn't slow down too much.
Yeah.
And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Yeah.
Or not even slow down, but that you just transitioned at the right exact time, and that you didn't shoot too far inside, and just, you have to kind of just make that transition, maybe hesitate a second, but then immediately you're picking up throttle still in a blind zone. And sometimes good, sometimes maybe shit, for sure. And for the most part, it was pretty good
Yeah.
overall.
I mean,
Yeah.
and I want to you gotta give a shout out to Hansen. He made it out of the seating bracket, because he was originally the lowest seated person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was the other guy? There was two people that needed to get wins that ended up.
Hately,
No, it
right?
wasn't. No, it was
Andy?
Nah,
Derek.
No,
Derek
Derek.
Madison.
Derek,
Derek
yeah,
Ah,
Madison
there we
beat
Haley
go.
Andy
lost. Yeah,
Haley.
Derek did the thing.
That's
Which
what it
is
was. Yeah.
why O'Sully losing to TLO made him miss the rest of the event, which is a bummer, because I thought O'Sully was not the worst driver by far on the track when he
No,
was
not at
driving.
all. But he made that oh yeah, well, he got at fault for the collision.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
he lost. But on
Yeah.
his lead, he absolutely left TLO in the dust. So
Yeah.
might as well already throw
Yeah.
the
How
second
about
screen so we
Federico in
got
those
it.
seating battles? I know, guys. I know. He finally won one.
He won one battle, right? Or two?
Few.
No, he
You got
beat
like 9
Daigo, but
points.
Daigo crashed.
Yeah.
So and well, okay, that's okay. That's what they get for hyping up Daigo, I guess. They just get the boot. Oh, there they are. We'll see how this goes today. I gotta figure out.
That
Maybe
is
I need to
messed
update
up.
it or something.
This guy.
I
There
thought.
we go.
Oh
You
yeah,
guys
Jack
are
did win it.
complimenting
I was gonna
Daigo,
say
and
I
I just
thought
couldn't
Jack
have
was gonna
that kind
take
of
it all
talk
the
up
way
here.
for seating, and
He
he
did,
did.
dude. I should have put money on that. I
He
don't know
drove
if you
good,
could bet
dude.
on seating,
I don't think so.
but if you could, that was my guess.
Oh, welcome back, Nate. Welcome back.
No,
He already looks
you guys
upset.
are being welcome back to the stream.
That's how that works.
Yeah.
That's not how that works.
I know.
That's all right, Brandon. We'll stand in solidarity together.
Yeah.
All right.
CFC Fire with the comment, bro got second by winning once.
Yes.
Mike S. He stinks.
Yeah. Well, let's be fair. He won. Okay, Federico won because he smashed it in Amada, which again I didn't really agree with the call, but okay, so you
Yeah.
win because you absolutely destroyed someone's car. And then
True.
his
I
second
always
battle
say that's a
he won
good
because the other
method.
guy crashed. So he has yet to actually win a battle without someone zeroing.
What about the Hansen one? Hansen Sharifo? I don't remember
Oh,
that
that's
one.
right. I forget.
What,
I think
what happened with that?
Hansen went
Uh,
off.
That's it. I think
Yeah.
so. Like in
Yeah.
his, I want to say
I'm
his
pretty-
chase or something.
yeah, I'm
We
pretty sure
gotta
he
give
won.
him a little credit. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say he
He
did
kept
do.
it. He had
did
some
do
good
something.
leads. He had some good leads. Federico had some great leads this weekend.
This is his best performing track, I'd have to say. Like even
Yeah.
last year, he did do, like, I don't know, like, points wise, but like his performance while he's out on the track is definitely Not the worst.
Statistically,
Almost
it's
like
Jersey is his best track.
that's his best.
Statistic.
Maybe
Yeah.
he's just better off on these like just easy. I don't want to say easy, but just 1-2. Keep it out there. Keep it out of lock. Not transitioning so much. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
you
yeah,
just gotta hit the
him and
marks.
Daigo this weekend, they finally did it. So
He won a battle.
good for them. And then he went and copied and pasted the same exact wreck 2 times. So
Yeah, but he
Yeah.
did. He did
Yeah.
crash into the wall twice. So you
it
know,
looked like AJ said it looked like Mono was slowing a ton after transition. Yeah, after like on the replay afterwards, it definitely looked a little bit more like
Yeah.
that in person. In person, it was like,
it's a
man,
fast transition. But the
it
other
is.
thing was, well, the lights didn't indicate that he massively was slowed.
Yeah.
Which was the weird thing. They were just not.
He
Were
was
no
right
color.
out of it. I think
Yeah.
it was out of that tiny decel zone that is on the track map.
Yeah.
And it's very small. I don't know if they've moved it or whatever. I never remember. I can't
I
remember
know,
when you
right?
ask me like who won this battle. 5 minutes later, I say,
Somebody.
yeah. I was like
Somebody.
talking to Bias Track today, and we were talking about who knocked out Dylan. I was like, who did knock out Dylan? I'm like, huh? And it was Brandon
Yeah.
Sorensen. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but
And then Brandon Sorensen did a loop-de-loop in front of. Who did he lose to?
Castro.
Castro. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Because I remember Sorensen's chase on Castro was sick.
Yeah, it was good. And then all of a sudden he did that snappy transition, and it kept snapping.
His steering rack broke.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. Or
Yeah,
binded.
I was
Broke
gonna
slash
say
binded.
it
Real bad.
definitely was an aggressive, not like Brandon move. So
Yeah.
that would explain that.
Yep.
All right,
But
so let's get to the old. Let's get to, since we've already talked about seating bracket. Let's go ahead and get to them. The seating bracket battle of, and I still apparently need to pay for no ads in YouTube.
Come on, dude.
Hey,
this guy. Oh wait, you gotta make it so we can see it, or maybe it's gonna kick you out again if you do that.
No,
We could just wait for the stream.
no. I always forget I gotta do this. Stream. What is this? Even Streamlabs? It's just.
This is true. Oh shit, we got Vanish. Oh, we got guns?
What? Who?
What?
Your ad.
Oh, I see. Yep.
Yeah.
Demonetized immediately.
Nah, they got ads for
Outta
it. We're
here.
fine.
Yeah, we're good. All right, so the first battle I wanted to look at was Lamero Sully. It'll be interesting because it'll be good to look at the compare and contrasting because basically the same thing happened between these guys and then what happened between Mata and Freddie, but they made different calls. So it's good to kind of analyze the two and kind of at least show where there was difference because that's where there's a lot of can be confusion, I guess you could say. So he comes in, he's on throttle, and so the contact comes a bit later after the clipping point than Freddy's contact. Also, you can see TLO is on throttle for a good 2-3 seconds before they hit.
That's definitely on Connor because he cut the track. He dropped a tire.
And then he was good for a second.
Right there. So if he would have kept going, but you can tell that Connor's car is way more, not way more, but just more grip. And you saw that in the lead run for sure.
That was a spicy
than TLO's
lead.
car. And so as soon as he got on throttle, he was still right next to TLO, but it just went straight into the side of TLO.
I think that was purely because of how he transitioned here. He goes shallow there, and then pushing the car back. Like you run over that clip, you're using less of the track to get to the same point, so you're gonna move faster through the track. And
came at him very shallow too.
Yeah.
Yep. No. Yeah, I mean that was just a case of just cutting the edge off and a little ram job.
Yeah, biting off a little more than you could chew.
All right,
Yeah, and like that little first tap, like he was all right, but TLO had already it had gotten into him as he was setting up still for that outside two, which then caused that over rotation.
So here's the unique one, because one of the big changes is Mata kind of messes up on inner one, which is what also causes Freddy to take a weird line into inner two, and
excuse me,
he hits him a little bit, I would say, sooner than Osuli does. Let's get back to the actual replays, because it took him a minute to get these cars apart. That was the funny part. They were sitting on track for probably 20 minutes.
It did seem like that.
Because they could not get the cars apart. I forget. Austin told me what happened, but I think one of the wheels was locked in, wedged with the other bar or something.
Yeah,
great outer one. Austin does a little bobble there and then takes kind of a shallow line through there.
A shallow, which then makes him like rubber band to the like way outside of that inner clip.
Yeah.
Which then he realizes it and like does a panic, like tries to shimmy the car forward by clutching in and just like kind of locking it up.
Yeah, I can see why they put the blame on Mata there, because
it's just my thing is Freddy's not even trying to slow down, and that's the challenging part.
Like honestly,
if you watch Freddy's lights, he hits when he transitions. So watch Freddy's lights.
Yeah, when he transitions, he's neutral.
He never slows down.
I assume he's like trusting Mata to, transition.
Right, but that is a decel zone. And my
thing
is like, if the chase car is not even trying to slow down, like he makes no attempt to slow down behind Mata. So what my argument would have been, if Mata even was on throttle when he was supposed to be, he's still getting run over by Freddy there.
I don't see that, because
I think his purpose was because he was far away, so he just assumed that Mata was going to do like almost what he did was just like an off throttle float and then dig into outer two. But since like Freddy knew that he was far behind, just continued to lay into that throttle as quickly as he could and just really eat. Because ultimately, it's the same thing that like I stink in the chase on Assetto, but I tell myself every time the lead driver has to do the same course that I'm doing. You just have to have faith that they're going to like do it properly.
But you see how he's accelerating through there?
Yeah, I mean,
he's accelerating through the
decel zone. So he's speeding up. So like
because he's already green, like
he's green,
a car and a half
he's still
back.
green. He's green again through the decel zone, and doesn't even slow down until he gets to the inner clip. So
because you're a car and a half back, and as a chase driver, you're already carrying less momentum than the lead driver.
Yeah.
Like theoretically, like when you're chasing someone, you're always going to be slower than them because you're behind them. And so him like being that 2-car back, if he were to transition and maybe hit that cone and cut the line a little, then he could be right on his door through the last zone. But because Mata didn't get on throttle, then ka-chow, that's why.
I think that if like Federico was in the lead there, that would have been a heater.
Oh yeah, and that was the other controversial thing that most people didn't hear about. Mata was supposed to chase first. FD messed up the run and had Mata lead first. And Mata's team tried to protest it, but FD said too bad, so sad. And
yeah.
So that was cool of them. But
yeah, it's definitely one of those other just semantics of sucks that it happened,
But,
like this is just the way how she went.
Because in the burnout box, Freddy, when he pulled to the line, went to the chase line when he was supposed to go to the lead line, and so that's why it happened. But yeah, it was interesting. I still think Freddy was going to run him over regardless if he was on throttle or not, but
he might have, honestly. If he did, then he would have been at fault. But since Mata
didn't get on throttle early enough,
and had a weird line cut the
Yeah.
infield. Then
Yeah, that's just a tough
that's all
one
she
to.
wrote.
That's just a lot of what ifs, but
Yeah.
ultimately this is just it did happen, and like I said, I think that if that was his lead run and he were to do that, he probably would have went a little bit outside, like coming in the outer two. He probably would have dropped a tire or two outside the line. But man, that would have been cool though.
Yeah.
He would have been zooming.
Speaking of zooming, that TLO freaking
The
Byron.
Byron.
Gee, I was freaking out, dude. That entry was nuts. I
That
was like,
Byron, but then Connor's angry redemption lead.
yeah.
I was gonna pull up a couple of these. I just have to find it first.
I think TLO's Byron like made it very obvious, especially in my heart, that they should bring back qualifying because it was just so good.
This has made me the way that they're running this seating bracket and the points and how dumb the points are. Like, I want qualifying back. You've now convinced someone that likes the seating bracket to hate it because you don't do the points right.
Yeah.
And you're like, literally, there's nothing these guys can do to get out of it. And there's nothing, like, I think there's still 2 or 3 drivers that have 0 points, but are still in top 32 because.
Yeah, 2 full-time season drivers.
Yeah, because the point system's broken.
Yeah.
And like, this is the lead run that'll slowly he just walks away from.
that was
a statement in itself, and it's unfortunate because it's like a statement. Because if he does that in a qualifying run, O'Sully's not going home the first day.
Right. No,
yeah.
You know, absolute baller lead run, and just says goodbye.
And like I always look at like the VDC and how it feels like unobtainable to ever like be able to compete with those guys. Like Brandon knows while he's in it, like if you're not doing a 91 point run in your qualifying, you're not making it in the show basically at this point.
Yeah.
And like then watching like runs like that or TLO's like solo run, I think to myself, I'm like, wow, these guys might like I wonder what the average of a qualifying like bracket would be for FD anymore, and would it be closer to 90 plus, because everybody is like when they're on like a heater and a solo run like with the passion and anger behind them, like they put down some crazy runs. I think the majority of the pack genuinely is putting down very close to perfect runs.
All right, here's TLO's really cool run. I'm going to pull that up. By the way, TLO's car looks really good.
Yes.
I love his lights, his yellow and red lights.
It's just mean.
They're such
it looks very tough.
He did a really good job. I'm not a purple guy. I'm not a big purple guy, I'll be honest. But other than that,
the little accents, they're nice.
Yeah, he did something different, and I like it.
Yeah, this entry is just so good. Just boom! Oh man, I was freaking out. I had to rewind it like 5 times to rewatch it. It was good.
It's like, why can't everyone just do that?
Yeah, he had that thing like spiced up too for this run, shooting flames out all the time too. Like,
So fun fact is the alternator went out on the run up.
Oh really?
Yeah, and that's why he didn't continue after this. Yeah, so alternator died. So he ran the whole run without alternator. But it worked. It stuck. But man,
yeah, all it needs is 20 seconds.
I know, right?
That's it. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, seeing him slap the roof of that thing, like, you had me right at that last corner. I was hyped. I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude!"
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is interesting because you see a guy like TLO with all the confidence in the world do something like that, and then they'll make like a silly mistake. Like I think his top 32 battle, he missed a lot that first part of the outside zone, and it's like it always makes you wonder, like, okay, so how does that happen, kind of thing.
Yeah. He said it was because he hit the wall in practice and was
he had a
scared.
pretty nasty crash in practice, and sure the suspension was partially messed up or something. He lost power steering. That's why he went into the wall through a belt. But
yeah, that was a pretty good one. Made him come to like a pretty halting stop pretty quick. Which I mean, it was just like a classic bend and snap, and he like just like grazed like the wall for a while, but then it like hooked onto something and then just snapped his front end like around.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow.
Yeah. So
pretty crazy.
And then we get to the unlikely heroes here.
Look
at that! Look at that chase run by Freddy. He's like basically going straight on entry, and then Daigo's like, actually, I'm gonna throw this one away, and I'm gonna go put it in the wall. So it's like, I don't know, guys.
Like it's big dooms.
Yeah, I mean, you got Freddy going like 3 off over there.
Ay, caramba.
You know, at least those are cheap wheels to replace.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah. Oh, advertisement.
What we got here? What is this? Goggles?
Sleep goggles or something.
Are they
100% blackout?
I don't know, man.
You just give like a homeless person $10 and you have them come in and knock you out every night.
They'd probably do it too.
That's what I'm saying. $10. Yeah. They say $20 is $20. I bet you 10 is 10.
Yeah. Cheeseburger from McDonald's, dude.
You can get three doubles for $8.63.
Damn.
Okay.
Pretty good.
I know.
Yeah. But shout out to Jack. I was kind of waiting for Jack to kind of get some wins under his belt. I think he's just had some bad luck. So him winning the seeding bracket, I don't think is really a surprise to anyone.
Yeah.
He's just, like I said, I was kind of waiting for him to get some wins going here. But, you know, it's still been for him, I think it's the consistency and just getting it there with the one series and whatnot. But
yeah,
I think he wins pretty easily against Freddy here.
Who'd he go against in 32 again?
It was Dylan Hughes, wasn't it?
Yeah, D. Hughes.
Yeah, and you know it's not an easy battle for sure.
No,
but I think
I was nervous for Dylan. I was sad for Jack.
Yeah,
but I didn't. I wanted Dilly to progress there. I was sad when he got kicked out of 16 too, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
That brings the unlikely the trio of Daigo and Jack. Look at these guys.
The international podium.
Crazy. Daigo built that Ferrari. It's crazy.
Well, the funny,
yeah, partially built it.
Well, the funny part is, last round was all prospect guys. It was Mato, Sully, and TLO, and then this round it was all international guys. So you know, doing a little bit of everything here.
I did feel kind of bad for Daigo here because he didn't have his car out there. Probably, you know, like
I know they just kind of
finally does it.
Yeah, I just feel like he's like out there, and I'm like, I won a battle, so I get to go stand here with everyone else.
Yeah, he definitely didn't seem like he cared too much. Because, like, what are you posing next to?
I know, right? Well, I mean, like, I feel like the seating bracket, the podium ceremonies for seating bracket are kind of silly a little bit. I mean, they're not.
Well, they're so rushed.
Yeah, right. So
it is. I feel like how like Rob didn't realize at Long Beach like how quick like you had to like get ready and like have everything ready, and like I'm like, yeah, dude, I keep that lens out on my backpack, fucking with the cap already loose, like ready to fucking go. I'm like, as soon as that car passes over the finish line, I am changing lenses in preparation that they do have a winner. And if they don't, looks like I'm probably shooting the next one at 24-70 because that's just gonna be how it goes. But yeah, no, like it's just like they find a winner, the cars pull up like immediately. They get it done. They have like 5 minutes, it feels like. And yeah. Bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom.
I guess we can quick check out the points. Let's go to the old points. Where are the points at? Standings. New pro standings.
Yeah, Jeremy, they were looking good. Dylan in practice always looks phenomenal. I mean, he always looks like a good driver out there, and then something pressure, whatever, or mechanical, just whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Just racing.
Let's look at the auto and the tire cup points too after we're done with the drivers, just because it's a few rounds in now.
Well, we haven't looked at, so we'll look at the top drivers in a little bit, but I did want to kind of show off some of the guys that are in seating bracket that have kind of been hanging around, that are moving their way up the standings. You got Jack Shanahan up at 19th. You know, he's still going to be in seating bracket because he didn't win his 32 battle.
Yeah.
Mod is up here in 21st with 12 points, and Rudy Hansen up here also with 12 points. They're not getting out of seating bracket because they didn't win their 32 battle. So all these guys are kind of getting their own points here and there. You know, ahead of guys like Jeff Jones, Trent Beecham, Nick Novak, Jonathan Hurst. Who else is in here that runs 32? I think the rest of these guys are all in seating. But yeah, so guys like that who have been just running 32 battles, and they're behind guys that have been doing the seating bracket stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of weird how all that stuff kind of works out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still am really curious as to why they went this direction with who and what is being put into the seating, and how it's not just a points-based system. Like,
I mean, that would just make sense, right?
Right? Like, I mean, like the way how like we've been taught not even been taught, but just followed sports in general.
Weird. To me, the bottom, what is it, 23, bottom 22 plus drivers should be in seating bracket. Like, that shouldn't be a debate. Not, oh, what did they get in the season last year? Why does that affect anything? You know, it's so weird to me.
Just bring back qualifying. You know, let's just
at this point,
honestly, make qualifying great again, dude. Just do it.
I think I do want it, because now, like, everybody, when they do get these like buy runs or like these solo runs by themselves, they put down they're balls to the wall. They're like, all right, I need to do it for the fans. Like, oh, Chelsea Denofa, like let me be like him, you know. And it's cool now. Like, it's turned into a thing, and I think Chelsea could attest to being a product for a lot of that. And even, you know, back when James Dean and Peter were competing in their S14s together, like, that shit was just insane. One of the S15s, were they S14s with S15 kit? Yeah. I never know anymore, dude.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, dude, it's like, I kind of look forward to buy runs in the seating bracket now, because it's just like everyone just lays it out there, you know. They just show them what they got. They gotta be like cautious about, oh, is this guy gonna do X, Y, and Z? It's just like, let's do a good run, and then they do a good run, and that's how it works. And I think having points for qualifying would be better than this whole seating bracket, whatever they're doing, you know. Make more sense from a sporting perspective, and it's just as entertaining. And you'd probably get viral clips, because some dude would do a 360, slam into the wall, or do a 100-point run or whatever. So all I'm saying is, bring back qualifying.
I agree.
I'm not there yet. I still like seating bracket. Just do the points right, please. Then I think everyone will like it better.
Yeah. Loco has said drivers look forward to their buy runs. I mean, probably for two different reasons. One, you could show off. And two, that just means that you're going forward.
I know, it's a couple points for you, you know?
Yeah, it's like, no matter which way you cut it, I'm going forward here. I could just completely just drive straight into the wall if I wanted to. But I'll tell you what, I might be able to fix that car and get into the next battle. But yeah, I could see that. Civil, great to have you here, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Civil out there.
Glad I made your friend make
his friends imitating Hobson's car, so that's pretty awesome.
I guess so. Yeah, I'm glad that I could be a nuisance to you all, and thanks for partaking in my silly antics.
Oh man, there will be many. I'm sure there will be plenty more this year that we'll be doing.
Yeah.
But A couple guys I wanted to point out real quick that are kind of down here in the standings that probably are going to want to start getting going on their seasons are Dan Burkett and Ryan Littrell.
Not Nick Novak.
Well, yeah, but they're
also
they've been in top 32, so they haven't really had the chance to get
not
the points.
Nick. He's been seeding for 2 rounds now. Last round
right.
in Atlanta.
You're right.
Hurst has been stuck in that 20th position in qualifying. He's just right there. And then he just goes against Kengushi every freaking time. But
yeah. So hopefully Hurst, I think he would move up back, maybe. I don't know. But so you're right. No, Nick Novak, Ryan Littrell, and Dan Burkett are 3 guys that I'm looking at. I'm like, got to start putting some points on the boards, guys.
It sucks, yeah. It sucks. Like, Nick hasn't gotten out of the 32 since Orlando of last year, which is
surprising because you watch him drive.
Which is surprising, yeah.
You watch him drive and you're like, damn, this dude rips. And
that chase run against Ospo was friggin' sick.
Yeah,
like, that was one of the best chase runs of the weekend. And then he, you know,
it away.
Then things happened, and then it wasn't as sick because he lost because he beat a tire, but.
Well, he had to go and kiss the wall.
Give it a little kiss.
Yeah, he gave it too big. Too big.
Yeah, I mean, even like I feel like Littrell could have had some points in the seating this weekend, but that battle against him and Hansen, I was like, he was like nowhere to be seen. So I don't know if there was something wrong with the car or what.
I don't know. Like, that thing was hip hopping, skipping along. I don't know. They got all the compression in the back of that thing. It was just woo in the back.
It was weird.
I know what was going on.
And same with Dan, you know, another guy that I would be expecting, you know, to be podiuming if he's in seating bracket. I would expect him to win / podium in those, and hasn't really done that. So, you know, sometimes it's just how the cookie crumbles, but I have a feeling they're definitely, their seasons are going to be like, they want the points.
All right, let's relax now. He didn't enjoy that.
Well, yeah, you just woke him up from an upside down slumber, dude. Just to shake him like Mufasa.
Sorry,
buddy. You guys are terrorizing animals.
Yeah, my bad. That was on me.
You know,
I thought it was gonna be funny. He wasn't very happy.
Jeremy Cook, D. Madison, 132, so Hurst will be in seating. So that's good to know. So Hurst will be in seating next round, and Madison will be out. Speaking of Madison, he's up in 16th place, so congrats there, buddy.
Congrats, Derek. Look at you go over there, big dog.
And then, you know, the thing with Derek is he's been taking advantage of the seating bracket. If you look at the previous rounds, he's got 3 points and 6 points. How are we doing these? So it's just, he got 9 points from seating bracket the first couple rounds, and then gets another 12 for his, or no, sorry.
How the fuck is that points for Madison making any sense?
So you get 1 win in seeding, and that's your total points. You get 2 wins in seeding, that's your total points for the round. You get 1 win in seeding, and then that's your total points for the round because he won in 32. So he's gotten 3, 6, 3 in seeding, and then obviously he got an extra 10 points for winning the 32. Why is he getting
3 in the main bracket thing, like for like Long Beach and Atlanta?
Because that's total points for the weekend.
Why don't they just do like 6-0, 12-0? Why they gotta?
Because
anyway, I'm just being picky.
I was just trying to. I had to quick look up.
I see. I see what they do. Yeah.
Yeah. You're a little slow there. I get it, bud.
Hey. I know a system that would make it a lot easier to read. That's all I'm saying. But whatever.
Don't we all?
But his car was hopping like he was on hydros. Yeah, his steering in his in-car video looked a little crazy.
Yeah.
He definitely, like, that thing was just kind of fighting him, it looked like. But yet, like, when you look at it outside the car looks good. But it just really looked like he was fighting it inside the vehicle. I don't know.
Yeah.
How do they even make showing points over? How do they even make showing points overly complicated?
Yeah, like, you know? This doesn't make sense. Like there's 2 brackets: seating bracket, main event. Why are they putting the points for both in like If you get seeding bracket and you lose your 32, then you get 0 points in main event. Why are they moving the points over? That doesn't make any freaking sense. You know?
They're just special, okay?
Yeah, I could tell because that doesn't make any sense.
I think they just like to see more numbers on the screen.
Pretty much, that's what it seems like. It's just
the guy that panics when the boss walks in and he's not doing anything, so he just starts fucking throwing more tabs in Excel in. He's just like, oh shit.
Like if we look at like Hobson, it's like 9, 19, and then he has 19 points. It's like, why not 9, 10? 9 plus 10 equals 19. That makes more sense to read instead of putting a bunch of freaking numbers.
You know what?
Doesn't make any sense.
We can't have that, okay?
What do the tire people look like? Who's winning?
Well, we're not there yet. We still got to cover the main event, and then we'll go back and we'll cover the leaders and tires. So we gotta do this in order, bud. All right, back to Orlando results. Let's get into the actual main competition. We got a process here now.
No, we don't.
I think you have the process, and that's just, I don't know. I'm just following along. You keep processing, buddy. I'm here for it.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
All right.
Obviously, if you guys have any 32 battles you want to quick hit, just looking at it quick. The one that was kind of weird. Originally, when I first saw it, was the Matt Field Dan Burkett battle. Dan kind of running into Matt Field, making him DB'd and stuff. That was just a weird deal altogether. But I mean, the overhead for that battle actually was like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense.
I thought Adam, LZ, and Tommy. I thought maybe LZ was gonna lose there. I forget what had happened.
Tommy messed up his initiation.
Yeah, if it would have been like a lead he was doing all weekend, he would have won that easily. But
I know.
Yeah.
Because I was standing next to his crew guys, and they were like, "No way," because Adam went 2 off. And,
and then
That's
coming off the 1.
And then he totally messed up the...
Shout out to Austin Mata for really holding your own against James Dean.
Yeah, I mean, if he would have transitioned a little sooner, he would have made that a pretty nice battle.
Golly, like, he really just turned... I mean... I don't even want to say he turned up because he's always just pretty turned up. He is.
So this is the Rad Dan battle. Where he kind of just a little bit grippier and just kind of keeps hitting.
I think he truly just thought that he was going, like, he wanted to tap him. That genuinely looked like that was a.
Well, Dan needs to win. So
I see. That was a bit more than a tap. That was I'm carrying too much momentum, and I hit your quarter panel.
He's wavering back and forth, and then he just wavers right into him, and then kind of.
It wasn't like a smooth up to the door tap.
Right.
It was just like.
It looked like he was trying to get the surge to get closer, but then on that probably half throttle, it took angle out, and he's like it ended up just driving.
Yeah, you can see him wavering
right there. Yeah, he can't get it to just. He just wanted to inch a little bit closer to really just give Matt Field like a little of his own aggression. Yeah, a little, you know.
Matt was in
because I think that they're boys,
and it wasn't like Matt was going that fast. I mean, he was putting fat angle on
immediately with the hand out the window.
And Dan's setup was like, I can't do that.
And he did kind of stay into him a bit. Like
he hits him right there, and Matt's
he just keeps
trying to save it.
Just keep going, dude. Keep it going.
He just
come on.
Oh, jeepers. Yeah, it was genuinely trying to be like a scenario of Mike Prez running over Ricky Hoffman back at East Coast Bash all those years ago.
Well, it wasn't quite as epic as that, let's be honest.
No, that's one of those all-time things that has happened. But
yeah.
Shout out to you guys.
AK 47 Boy 22 says Matt did a safe chase after this. I mean, do you blame him though? Like,
you gotta.
Like that's. I mean, how many battles have we seen thrown away because like they don't, you know? And
it
happens. You gotta play too hard in the paint.
Play to win. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's the unfortunate reality of the sport. But when you cause someone else to zero and you're at fault, it's like it's not much you can do there.
Yeah, you see the deal, Sam, right on the camera. You see the dealer give you hits at 25. Are you gonna try to fucking hit again after you've hit 21? No, they already
Right.
busted. You already won.
Yeah, exactly. Because so this is the Adam LZ TLO battle. Shout out to TLO's team for getting the car fixed. But yeah, he's going 2 off there, so that's a pretty big mistake from Adam.
Slams through that clip.
Misses that one almost completely.
Yeah, it was a trash lead run. It was be completely
and TLO's right there. So TLO's like, okay, all TLO's got to do is put in a solid lead, which he's been doing all weekend prior to his crash.
Yep.
You know, and that was the thing I was curious about because he hadn't had a chance to practice, I don't think, because his first run was his crash that day, and they had not made it back on track after that. Yeah. So he had not had a practice run that day. So I wonder if that was maybe something that kind of caused it.
In his Instagram story or video or whatever, he said he was trying to play it safe on the initiation and played it too safe.
Just misses the entire first section of that zone.
Yeah.
And as a chase driver, that's damn near impossible to chase. Ben Hobson did the same thing against Simon Olsen, where he just basically went 90 degrees immediately, and it's just like you can't chase that.
Yeah, that was sucky to see too. He said he just didn't catch the wheel in time, so he threw a backy, and I'm like,
but ultimately, that should maybe be the end of the Simon and Ben chronicles.
I don't know about that, bud.
I don't know.
Well, I only say it because that was 2 Simon wins in a row now.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see, brother.
It was bad, but chaseable. TLO's lead was bad and unchaseable. Yeah. Adam's run was like pretty flowy, honestly. He was doing like a bro line.
Zones.
Yeah, extending things, cutting things.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out to Nick. I know he hasn't had any success this year, but like, dude, this chase run was nasty.
This is so pretty damn good.
A little shallow angle at first, but then just sits in the pocket, and then it's just there.
Just boom, little bobble just to get back into it, but he's just
that transition was close.
Somehow he did that, and I couldn't believe it. Like when I saw him suck
look how close he is
right before the transition. I'm like, oh man, you're gonna get your doors blown off. And then he was still there. I'm like,
I was next to Osbo's guys when they saw that chase. They're like, damn E46s.
Yeah, I mean that chase was great. That last zone, he was like that perfect, like 3 inches away, where you're not just like rubbing or tapping. You're just like that impressive, like small amount, like that paper amount.
Yeah,
it was just great, great chase,
dude. I'm not sure how he made that transition work, but he did.
Yeah, he had to throw so much angle to like get it to like follow Osbo on his rotation, and then get the speed to shoot back. Like, spring loaded.
Yeah, it was nasty. All right, so this is where, and there's a couple guys that did this. I think Rudy Hansen also had a really good chase that he kind of threw away, because he hit the wall in his lead. You'll see Nick do it here, and it's just a bummer because you watch these guys pull something and they do something amazing, but then I don't know if it's like a mental thing, because it looked like Osbo had kind of messed up even on entry. But then he hits the wall, D-beats the tire, and that kind of ends the run, you know?
Honestly, it was.
It shoots underneath. It shoots underneath. Osbo's
takes out a drone.
Yeah.
Took out the lights in practice. Takes out a drone during battle.
Yeah, dude, the lights in practice was. Dude, I got kind of nervous. The longer the cable just kept growing, and I'm seeing it out of my peripheral as I'm like still following him. I'm like, yo, this is gonna snap back eventually. Like, it's going to like follow the car and do what a whip does, and it's gonna smack me right in the face, dude. Like, if I get no back smacked, I'm gonna be so sad.
Yeah.
But I didn't, thankfully. Yeah. But it was funny how it coiled.
This was a weird one, watching Jeff Jones basically do a pretty solid run and then just kind of throw it away at the end. Yeah. You know, it was like, I don't know what. I mean, I don't know. It's not. I don't know if it's the first time I've seen Jeff do this, but where he's going and
Weird
then he's like, "All right," you're like,
transition
"Okay,
Jeff.
sick, awesome lead, solid, okay chase, pretty good chase from Stookie," but then he just does that.
Yeah,
it's like, buddy, what are you doing? So, and that's why he lost, and it was just like, Now you just see Reese like,
fuck,
what,
dude?
What are you doing, dude?
The fuck that for?
Yeah, it's just silly stuff. Dimitri had a good battle with Manoa. I feel like every battle with Manoa was good, and Manoa was just that little tiny bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sim practice, dude.
Yeah. I just want to say, Connor is not basically run away with the field like some people thought he would this year.
Shanahan.
Yeah. He's getting into like top 8s and stuff, but he's he's usually getting stopped somewhere.
Well, the GT86 suspension isn't that great.
I know there was someone in the comment said no one's talking about how many GT86s there are in like the higher end of the field, but I mean there's just a lot of them, so you're bound to get some of them to do well.
Well, yeah.
So this is the weird lead that Ben Hobson did that kind of cost him the battle or the run or the battle.
Yeah, the backy. Just back to Connor's thing real quick. I talked to his spotter a little bit, and like the setup from his Europe car to the US car is completely different. So,
it has to be because you have to rely on mechanical grip here.
Yeah, instead of just your extreme tire. Yeah.
Yeah. That was
Backy
crazy.
Was sick, but it wasn't correct from Hobson.
Yeah, it was crazy how quick that thing hooked up. Like honestly, like just said, I am not sliding any further. We're driving down the track now. But he fixed it. I mean, obviously that was far too late and the damage was already done, but honestly fixed it and got up.
Right, but if you're Simon, you're like, what am I supposed to do?
Oh yeah, no, there's nothing you can do. That's a clear like L.
Yeah.
All Simon has to really do is just do a lap. But like
exactly.
Other than that, like damn, like Ben's run was so good.
Yeah.
It really was. Like that boy is really starting to figure that thing out, and I love it.
The thing is with him, I feel like it's just the consistency,
Yeah.
I feel like he's done a couple things that, maybe he took chances where he probably didn't need to take, like Atlanta. And
running them over.
Yeah, or just like the over angle here. So I think it'll come with experience. But
yeah,
I mean,
and every round I'm sure that he comes away learning something new, and the team as well. I still don't know how like his crew works, but I think that that's still some of like his people and things. So I'm sure that that's like a whole just new world that they have to learn.
Yeah.
But yeah, congrats to Simon. That's two out of 3.
Eric said Matt Field is murdering dudes in Orlando. What am I missing there? He had a bunch of good chases, but
No, he was murdering people. No.
I didn't think that he hit anybody really.
I thought he was like coming through the infield.
He got hit by Dan, but who did he hit?
In the 16 and 8, he was smacking people.
Like hard?
Infield. No, but.
No, well, he's just
rubbing doors, bud. That's what you're supposed to do.
Rubbing doors is kind of, 3 inches away is better than a bunch of
rubbing is racing.
Rubbing is racing, baby.
Cody, I will be at New Jersey for me to give you the signature. I don't know what you want to do with that. But I appreciate you.
You should get it tattooed on your body from her.
I don't want you to do that. Please don't make a.
I didn't tell you to do that. I think it would be funny though. That's all I'm gonna say. It would be pretty hilarious.
So AK-47 boy said, I feel like RTO should give him more practice / heat time. I feel like he drives the other Mustang a lot, so I think he gets a lot more seat time than most. Yeah.
I feel like he gets just a lot of seat time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even with the big budget of RTR, you can't have a weekly test session in the FD car.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like,
but he does drive Mustangs a lot, so it's not like he's not getting seat time.
Yeah,
I will say there
he's
wasn't
gotta
a lot
spin.
of there wasn't a lot of seat time for this event, just because the first day was pretty much a wash with
Yeah, fucking.
crashes, lightning.
Well,
Raining.
it was just the one. Dimitri, oiled down the entire track for 50 minutes, and
Mhm.
then
Lightning.
lightning. Yeah.
Lightning, lightning, lightning.
So
And then the
we
next session was all
ultimately.
wet, so you basically just threw away all the practice in that session. So
Yep.
Yeah.
first day was basically a wash for practice.
Yeah, you could tell like some dudes honestly didn't show up for that
So
second bit of
did
practice
any of you
for
guys hear
quite a
what actually
while.
happened to Turk on this run?
Yeah.
Shout out to Derek, by the way, getting the win. But yeah, Turk.
Misshifted, right?
Misshift or popped out of gear, one or the other.
But it's just interesting that he didn't continue the run if all he did was misshift, you know?
Maybe it just at that point, like.
I don't know. I feel like he would have initiated still and tried to catch up, but
Yeah, but like sometimes, I think he still runs a dog box, right? Not a sequential.
Yeah, he went back to a dog box. Used to
Yeah,
run the 6XD.
so honestly, even then in like that case, like I'm sure like he goes to rev, like he's still driving, and in that moment not
right. But if it
necessarily
pops out of,
realizing.
like Cody said, it popped out of gear. If it pops out of gear, throw it back in gear and go, and just hold it, or try to. I don't
Yeah,
know.
Yeah,
Maybe you just
I
don't want to throw
mean,
it at the wall and
it's a
while
pretty
holding it.
difficult decision to make to risk the car just to
No, because it
yeah, and like I
happens
was,
try
like
and
pretty
catch
far
up.
back, you know.
yeah,
You
well, like
wouldn't
I
you,
was
he
saying,
wouldn't have
like maybe
caught
he
up
didn't
till
even
after
notice it.
OZ1. Yeah.
Like he
Oh,
might have
trans
just
broke. Okay,
already
so that's a
been.
little different. If trans breaks, then yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
oh yeah, there's the angry steering wheel hit. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't notice it during the event, but Matt had mentioned it. I think it was Matt today. Yeah, that sucked. I felt pretty damn bad for Turk, but also was really pumped for Madison. I wish, that it would have been a fair and square full battle.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I think he did a great lead. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
curious how it would have turned out. Hard to catch back up after failure to launch. Yeah. Yeah, and
Again, not
that
impossible
re
though. It's not like
no, it's not impossible, but
On
your
this track,
reaction
it's
time.
pretty hard because of how short the run up is and then how much momentum you carry through the whole track. So there's no real great place to catch up, you know?
right.
Is that
Yeah,
John Cena in a drumstick commercial? It is.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is. I'm just thinking too, like if that was him in the fourth or whatever gear he was using, if that was that was probably his final gear until he initiated. His
Yeah.
hand was probably already back on the wheel or on the handbrake at that point, and just like ready to now initiate and to now like realize, oh fuck, and then bang it back into wherever you're supposed to be. Yeah. Yeah, no, it just sucked.
Yeah. I did one thing when I was walking down to shoot the top 16 intros. I forget how great and graded this track is. Like, it's not even like it's not even asphalt. It's basically a gravel road. Is what I
Yeah.
equate it to for how bad this track is, and some
Yeah.
of the like craters that are in some of these places. Like, Orlando is one of the worst, like, in terms of track I've ever seen in terms of
Hmm.
like
Mm.
gradient of like how bad it is. Like, it's legit a cheese grater, and that's why they have issues. Even though it's only two corners, they have issues keeping tires because they're spinning on a cheese grater.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a very rough road.
It's bad. But yeah, so we're now in the top 16, and this might have been the craziest battle. Well, not the craziest as in like closest, but in craziest as in biggest upset of the day. You know,
Yeah.
obviously
Well, this was
Madison
the
beating
make or
Turk in
break.
13 was pretty big, but also, putting a 4-time champ on the trailer in 16 is pretty sweet too.
Yeah.
For Rome.
Yeah,
And
when Osbo and Dean are neck and neck for points, this
this
was
is huge.
It was pretty wild.
yeah.
Although
Yeah.
Osbo losing in top 8 is also pretty big too. So
Yeah.
He didn't lose that
Yeah.
many points.
No.
Oh,
But yeah, I
Like,
mean,
that
you know,
was
you're
just
pretty
so
standard,
good.
like good lead from Dean. And Rome's, you know, doing his
the
thing.
little one series that
But
could,
then
dude.
you see how much tire that raises up on Dean's car is wild on transition. It looks so hard to drive.
Jack and Rome's car was also doing that, but they seem to have it pretty under control.
Yeah.
You can see it real well in Jack's by run and seating. He picks a tire up through inner clip 2. But yeah, that one series was cooking against that good old
I just want to say
RTR.
though, Dean's lead was pretty good.
It was, and I think
Always
that's
did.
where the problem was. I think he genuinely was like running out of tire at this point.
Yeah.
Like, it was.
That is the challenge of this track, is it sometimes is better to chase first because the tire consumption is that bad.
For sure. For sure. I think
I also don't feel
here,
like the Mustangs were that fast this year. Like, I don't feel like they were running away in practice.
I really don't feel like they have been, like the past, you know, events and even last year. They just are consistent. But now I feel like
dialed them back.
Because of them, I feel like everyone's now consistent and now dialing the speed, especially with all these great new tires coming out. So it's just even more difficult to.
Oh yeah, we also heard some tire news that we'll definitely have to hit up at the end here.
At the time, once we talk about tire points.
Yeah, pretty wild story. We'll get to that later. But yeah, you see, like the distance is just now being created, and like you said, I think it's the tires. You're right.
Yeah.
Dean's doing everything he can.
Yeah.
And like that was tell by the end of the run, there's just nothing there.
Nothing there.
Just
nope. Nothing there.
That was us on lap 5 around Orlando on Assetto, right?
No, when we were doing the loops. Doing laps.
Wow.
Yeah, me and Herbie were driving this. It's funny.
Yeah, we were in public lobby.
Rome does kind of check up on the top of that going down the hill a little bit, but that could be an argument in how he gets away. But yeah, Dean is just, you can see he's just using the crease to stay on the track at that point because he can't actually like.
He couldn't like pedal it to get back up either. It's just nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And then
crazy.
That was wild. And then you get the decision. Oh, we gotta talk to Nicole first, real quick.
Oh my God! Get YouTube Premium, dude.
This is Stout Berliner. I was going to write if they gave Dean it one more time, that would have been such a cop out for sure.
Oh, 100%.
Ultimate.
Rome won that fair and square.
Yeah, so you see them. They give the win to Rome. Obviously, Dean gets out though and congratulates them. You know, for being the best person ever to do the sport, he is one of the nicest people I think ever. When it comes to like you know how like usually like the greatest people at their sport have a little like chip on their shoulder, like they're a little cocky and stuff.
Like I'm sure he knows he's the best drifter on the planet, but he doesn't let people see that he knows that, you know.
Right. Like he still comes out and he congratulates Rome for beating him.
Yeah. Like he's still humble, like every battle's a battle, like anyone could beat him and he's just gotta do every battle, like his life depends on it, you know, which is
he is the boss
awesome
fight.
to see. Yeah.
And is the like intimidating boss that you go up against, but then at the end gives you your praises.
And like any karate movie, like he's the master Oogway. He's you know, he's the best and he's just chill with it. And he's not like trying to shove it down your throat that he's the best. He's just
Reese is like so lost. You're like, well, oh, back on camera.
I like the I think they upped the production quality for the broadcast booth cameras. They look a little crisper this round. I don't know if it was the lighting or
that
what.
one looked like it was in a dudgeon for how grainy it was, but you know.
I was saying when it was like daytime it looked a bit better.
Yeah, it definitely does. Something about maybe it was just genuinely because it was brighter in there.
Nope.
Oh shit, Chuck.
Dogs here or something.
Oh boy.
The reason why, to everyone watching, why I'm not in my normal place, my dogs have attachment issues and my family's on vacation. And they've been barking at 4 a.m. every morning, wondering where everyone's at. So I'm trying to fix that by just hanging out with them more. So
No, you just admit it. You're on a casting couch, okay? You know.
yeah, no, that's also true. Yeah, I got the big light here too. I got a FX3 all around. 3 of them. We're getting ready for it.
You
don't
got
even know what an
FX3s
FX3 is,
all
okay?
around.
All right. Yeah, I got one here, and here. It's the casting couch, dude.
Well, it's kind of silly. You're kind of just getting the same like height and
All
angles.
right, whatever,
You
dude.
get like different crazy style with it.
Ruin. Okay, whatever.
All right. Any other battles we need to hit in 16? You guys thinking about?
No.
I'm gonna watch
They
Osbo
were all
lose
pretty.
to. He beat Dan. That's right. He beat Stookie.
Yeah.
Shout out to Stookie getting to 16. Good job, buddy.
Good job. But you should have beat Osbo. I was really rooting for you.
Oh yeah, Gucci. I think a gearbox failure on Gucci's car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a bummer because this was the one more time battle and they were going at it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think Ken's driving has gone up a notch this year.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it is, but like he's driving harder this year than I've seen probably the last couple of years. I mean, obviously he's had some good success in FD Japan, but like he's come out and has been swinging pretty good at some of these rounds, and it's good to see.
Yeah, it's like 2015 Ken all over again. 2014, like the lead up to the 15.
Because there was a couple years like when he had the Supra and even the first
Supra wasn't great. It was the GT86 that he cooked when he had the Jay-Z in that.
Yeah, so I think
good time.
Yeah, I think going back to because he went back to the 2J last year, and you saw an improvement last year, but I think this year he's been really competitive. So that's been good to see.
Good old Osbo. Such a great man on the camera.
Right.
We got Exhibit.
Is that who this is? Who's this?
No.
Nate's
I'm not cultured. I'm sorry.
Yeah, clearly.
All right.
I mean, I think what you asking is that who this is probably still better than me calling just another man Exhibit. So,
Oh man. What do you think of this battle? Connor Manoa, the two guys that are the two guys fighting for Rookie of the Year last year.
Yeah, the two youngins.
Young guns.
He's like the two kids.
Yeah, I forget what Connor ended up doing in his lead run. Oh,
he
did
do
that. That was close.
I think so. During practice, we'll just watch the lead run. I have a theory on what happened. I think he was explaining what happened. He was having engine issues towards the end.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, yeah, and the engine dies.
Literally as he crossed the line.
He blew a dry sump belt, I think, during practice, and he didn't have.
And he hurt the engine.
Oil pressure for a second, and he said the engine was okay. Yeah. And you could see during this next lead run, like OZ2, he was just like 15 degrees of angle, just trying not to let the car run at an angle.
What car does Connor run in DMEC? It's the same thing, pretty much. 2JZ 86.
Same but different.
You just got some crazy tires.
Yeah, so. Yeah, and they knew coming into the run that the engine was probably hurt. It wasn't staying cool.
Yeah,
so
you saw him.
He went around.
What was it, the 32? Yeah. Well, during the 32, he just kept driving in circles, after their battle.
Trying to cool the car down.
Yeah. I was like, oh, this is different.
Yeah, so
like a shark.
It's funny because in the last round of Drift Masters, he was also having cooling issues with the car.
You say at Drift Masters?
Yeah, in Spain. Which, by the way, there's a round this weekend.
Yeah. Finland.
Is there? Oh, Finland's this weekend?
Yeah.
boy drive.
Snappy lead. That's so good. That's so good from Connor, though.
I know.
It's a bummer.
Right? Like,
you know,
this was a
this
crazy
chase was
battle.
gnarly, though.
Yeah. I mean,
Manoa, oh my god.
He just doesn't have.
Yeah, you can see the engine just dying here.
Yeah. Giving her
like
all
no
she's
angle.
got.
Yeah.
And then he just drives off.
It doesn't even drive off. He shuts it off.
No,
like,
yeah, and just coasts.
Because it just dies.
Yeah, really unfortunate to see.
Manoa using a VR38.
Indeed, he is.
Yes.
VR41.
It's a VR41. Okay.
Stroked 38. Yeah.
But yes, a VR engine. So Jerry Yang is the only magician that seems to have made those work, though. I think.
Well, Forsberg.
Yeah, and don't forget about Forsberg.
Yeah. You're right.
And Alex. He hasn't touched his motor since he's gotten it.
Yeah.
You're right.
I think it's
which is a problem.
Well, I've always wondered why Jerry picked the VR though, like in terms of his platform. I always thought that was.
I mean, he ran a GTR for a couple of years, so.
Right, but
I think that honestly, I think they're really great motors. I think
if you can get them to fit into the vehicle, like the chassis, I think they're fantastic motors. They're kind of expensive, but now they're expensive. They used to be a lot cheaper. Now they're really expensive. But
really,
they sound horrendous though. Damn, hater.
They do
really?
Now
I like these.
Hey.
Nah.
Especially like when that Manoa's car when that wastegate opens up, dude, that is so cool. I love it.
What do you guys think of Manoa's light strategy?
What's his
Keep
light
running
strategy?
it, dude. Run them bright.
He runs them like a V. It's pretty funny.
Oh yeah, I don't know. It looks cool on camera, so I don't
know.
I'm not the guy driving, so whatever looks.
Is that really a purpose, or is it just
I would assume so. I mean,
someone
if you're driving
just put
sideways,
the lights
you're looking that direction. You know, you're not. Really
that would make sense. Yeah. Huh.
That was kind of interesting.
Damn, that would be crazy style to think about that.
Huh.
Yeah, that's really looking at it now. It's really shooting in Connor's car. Oh my gosh. Trying to reach you about your extended warranty.
Yeah, but
open up.
There was a lot of stuff behind the scenes on this battle. Simon versus Odie. You know, the two old friends.
Yeah, man, this was a tough one here.
Well,
I was as soon as that. Well, I mean, like
as soon as you miss that outer zone, it's like
there we go.
As soon as they pulled up to the line, I'm like, damn. I'm like, we all pretty much probably know which way this is gonna go, but if Simon
Simon kind of runs away from him in the lower part of the second outer zone.
If he just didn't botch outer one,
when that happens, because he botched outer one.
He botched outer one so bad it doesn't really matter.
Chill out a little bit.
I mean, he did great if it was just they moved the box one more box inside. Like if there was just
fire, dude,
it would have been right in it, dude. He's right in the slot. Otherwise, but
yeah. I mean,
if you're gonna
bully some more people.
If you're gonna be anything, you've got to be consistent, and he was just consistently wrong on outer one. He didn't go in it. He didn't come out of it. He just stayed out. He just.
Hey, Mystery Young also spells formula the way I spell formula, which is FOMRULA.
Formula.
Yeah, because I can never spell it right.
Nice.
No, see, like he's not bullying him. He's
not bullying him. Maybe he was 16. I don't know. Maybe my memory is not memorying correctly.
I mean, this was a one more time though, so I think they go again.
Yeah, I don't know. Matfield has such a unique driving style. You know,
I feel like it's very
watching
angry.
Him drive. It is very angry.
It's very unique.
Shout out to Brandon for putting one hell of a chase on. He needs a little bit more angle, but he's definitely bullying him around.
Yeah.
And then
man, he is.
What'd you say? His steering broke or something on transition?
Yeah, steering rack binded / broke real bad after I think he had an incident in practice. Yeah, that's what I saw.
Something that happened right
on the new Formula Drift meme page, Formula Turt. I saw a comment from Sorensen Spotter saying what happened. So
okay,
interesting. What's up, Malik?
Yeah, here, dude, he was putting down a killer run, and then
Dude, the fact that Castro stayed out of him is a miracle too. Like, shout out to Castro for not absolutely destroying the front of
hit the
Brandon's
eject
car.
button real quick. Yeah, the panic.
That was wild.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is not the place to spin.
What I realized from this round is like Castro's just such a chill driver. Like, he's very aggressive when he chases, especially in Atlanta in this round. But like, if there's like something happening, like the dude in front of him messes up, he's just like, okay, I'm just gonna let him keep messing up. You know, I'm not gonna try to, cut the line and get to his door. Just gonna let it happen. You know.
Yeah, I'll get there if I get there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
oh wow,
he barely nicks.
He
him.
like
That's
tries
so
to
good.
just match everything that he's doing. He's like, all right, we're takeovering this real quick.
Oh, he's like, oh, there goes the butt pucker right there.
Like, oh, yeah. Like, shit, I didn't know we were chill like that. Yeah, but shout out to his fans though. Those are the guys that were right behind me while I was shooting, and honestly, I've never disliked Castro. I've always honestly like rooted for him if it wasn't anything against like Dylan or Dean. But you guys really made me like a deeper fan for Castro. Like, this was like honestly, the Dominican fans versus Brazil fans need to have like a head-on head. Like, who's the
They're
more
just giving each other head? Is that what you're saying?
All right,
head to head. But like, who's the more loyal fan, honestly? Because those guys had me cracking up with how crazy and just hyped they were. Like, I was in tears one point, just cracking up. Like, this one dude had to have been close to 60 years old, and he's like pouring sweat, hats off, like, dude just is going bonkers. And that whole entire grandstand was just Dominican fans. I was like, yo, they really showed up here. Like, that is so cool. And honestly, like, now that Castro is on this, like, he got this podium, and hopefully, like, his fans are still like hyped. I hope that they all show up to Jersey, baby. I really bring some of that energy there. You guys are fun. Tip. Yeah, that's right, Jeremy.
Oh man. All right. So you see Matt Field win here. Next up was the Manoa Osbo battle, and obviously this was very important for you, buddy.
Yeah. Well, Stookie was more important at this point. This is just
you're trying to limit the damage for you.
This is bogey number 1. And if we missed this stroke, then we would have been pretty sad.
Yeah, but I mean,
shout out to Manoa for helping a brother out here. We're still in the fight.
But I mean,
oh my gosh, yeah, this was great.
And then my favorite part is his tire just lights on fire. Doesn't even slow him down. He's still right there,
It's just right there. I wonder if they ever notice it, like this big flash behind them.
I heard you lose grip.
Well, yeah, that's what Jacob was saying on the live stream. But like, no, I mean like mid drift, like if like it like throws him for like a loop or something, like you just see this big flash of a flame behind you. I don't know. Good for Castro. I wanted him to win versus Manoa. Manoa has 20 years to do it. Castro is trying a long time. Yeah, I mean,
that's true. But hey, he still had a good showing.
He did.
I mean, he got on his first podium, which is
he's got a great last couple events. Yeah,
a lot. Like, there's been
we'll see if he can keep it up.
Yeah,
it's not that he hasn't deserved it; he just hasn't earned it.
Yeah.
Yet. So everybody is deserving of a championship, but
yeah. I do want to say, like, shout out to Jerry Yang for setting up Manoa's car though to like be fast, because he is not getting out. He didn't get outrun by anyone.
No.
And then he was outrunning guys in the lower part of the track.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Like, coming at like halfway through the outer 2. he would just slowly start to just inch away from people. It's like, damn, man.
Yeah, so I don't know what magic voodoo they had in this car, but it drives so good.
They got like a secret like button that they press when he's driving back up to line. There's a sprayer and it sprays new rubber compound on the tires. Just it redoes it. Yeah, it's honestly insane.
Yeah. Like Osbo's like, I'm trying to
drives
keep
away
up.
from Osbo. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, my tire's on fire and I'm still running away from you.
Yeah.
Wild.
Oslo just falling back there and like
Mhm.
all that angle at the end just really kind of like, I feel like that's like saying something without saying something of just like, I'm tired, Grandpa. Like, dude, like that's just like, I gave her all she's got and he's gone. Like,
Phil,
damn.
so Phil asked, is the hate for Manoa's lead driving gone now? Not at this. So it depends on the track. He's really bad. Even like you'll see him like on outer one doing a lot of throttle manipulation to stay up there, but he does it in a really good way at this track. And then obviously he's not really on. You don't see brake lights at all in outer two, so he's not doing
you see it. You see it in outer one.
Yeah,
but
you see it in
it's
outer
just
one a lot.
stable out the car.
Yeah, you see him
he's
popping
not
in
digging
and out
into the brake.
It's
but
definitely a sim habit for sure.
Yeah.
I think
that's
earlier.
That's what people aren't exactly happy about him doing and chasing. But like you see, he's not on the brake in outer two, so he can drive without a brake every once in a while.
Yeah.
So it's not that like everyone is okay with Manoa's lead still, but it's just this track does not emphasize a lot of his driving or his negative parts of his driving very much as opposed to other tracks.
And I still believe left foot braking is a tool to use and shouldn't be frowned upon,
Yeah.
It's like you got that middle pedal. If you want to use it, you can use it as long as you're not doing a rolling burnout.
You know what? I probably should have kicked him on the stream sooner, I'll be honest. For talking slander like that.
Burnout throughout the track, then I think left foot braking, learn how to do it. It's really good. It's a great tool to have whether you're leading or chasing to, get more precise with your vehicle.
I agree. I think earlier on in the practice and maybe even Friday's practice, the big thing with him, I think, anymore is just like you said, he's a sim driver and the throttle manipulation. Like that's more than anything. Like I think that he's realized like his feeling on the brake pedal anymore, and I don't think he's ever really meant to stab the brake to upset the car or to psych anyone out or anything before. It was just something that we've all observed, and it's just like, damn, like he's a kid and a sim driver, and everybody's going to make these like not allegations, but like call him out on these things because he is these things. And but really now I think the biggest thing is just truly that is throttle. And like we said, you can hear it when that wastegate opens, you can hear it. And like
it should be like that all the time.
Yeah, like it is just like night and day. Like when that thing is on and off. There's like the zero in between.
Yeah.
Which
I think it's like redline, the wastegate just like rips open, but he's still in boost.
Yeah, and Jeremy's like, it's funny how no one sings Manoa's slow. It's not that Manoa on the bank on outer one is not fast. I would still consider him not to be. I don't know about slow.
I don't think he's slow. He's just not quick.
He's not fast on outer one. It's outer two is where you can see him literally not on the brake pedal, and that's where he wasn't. And no one was complaining about outer two. Any complaints would have been about outer one with him.
Yeah. And you don't got to be on the throttle the whole time either. If anything, it's better not to be on the throttle the whole time as a lead or chase driver. You'll get the most speed and most out of your tires and have the best run if you do that, instead of flooring it everywhere.
Yeah,
harder to control because you are going to be going faster. And gripping,
so I was
the car.
curious on why this run went one more time. This was the field
That
Castro. Is because he's cutting the line like that.
that midfield wasn't great, and then we'll go. Just gonna be refreshed on Matt's lead.
Yeah, because like Matt definitely gaps him a little bit.
Yeah, it's a great lead by Castro though.
Yeah, it was a great lead. So I mean, he does kind of cut the line a teensy bit.
Yeah. I mean that was a bit of a line cut through the infield. Like he straight lined it. That wasn't a teensy bit. That was full on. Let me just,
that's true.
You know,
get back up in there.
Yeah.
Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Yeah.
Smooth as fast.
No,
line over everything, as they say. Let's see here. What did happen here? I honestly forgot.
Yeah, I think just is this the one more time?
This is the first
second
battle.
First battle.
Yeah, first battle.
Second half of the first battle.
Yeah, I was just
great bank by Castro.
Great bank by both the guys.
Jeez.
I think he mistimes the transition or something,
so he
and then
cut
just
it
I don't think so.
But Field does gap him here, and that's why
and
I was asking.
The reason being is because Field going through O's IC2, you could see it. He pulls out angle and he kind of like arcs it more than you should. So he'll pull out angle through that, and then like through that until he's like 10 feet in the zone. Then he'll dump all his angle back in. So he's getting that momentum through IC2 and kind of just cutting it, and then getting onto it. I'm sure the judges saw that because you could see it, especially here on the truth serum overhead, that he does that.
Nice. Calling it the truth serum. Isn't that what Jared calls it too?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it is.
This is how you see what the car's doing.
Like not a lot of angle here, and like kind of drives away, then hits the brake and gets back into angle to then do that.
Interesting.
Yeah, very like stabby sort of like angle thing to do. Especially now with everyone having such good eyes, especially the judges, like you could see like him doing that, and that not being, you shouldn't be doing that.
This was a very passionate moment behind me at this moment. when Field like ran away, and like you can't see that from just your eyes perspective of like why it might have happened and everything that you just described. And I don't know what they were all saying, but it did not sound happy whatsoever. I was like, man, they are so upset. But yeah, they were still cheering. And dude, when they found out it was one more time, wow, it was hype. That was the best corner to be at as a fan or anything for that weekend. Genuinely. They made this happen. They made Castro get on the podium.
Yeah. All right, so they call it a one more time. I can't remember if every judge said one more time. That's why I wanted to look. One more time. One more time.
I think Reese went
Castro.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And I'm sure he thought that angle thing from Matt was enough to give it to Castro.
Reese he did a lot of different calls from what the other judges were doing, and he does seem to do that more often. And I think he obeys the rule book better than the others.
Yeah, he has a really good eye too, in my opinion.
Yeah,
like he could really see things, and he doesn't, try to.
He's incredibly fair.
If it is, he's very honest.
Yeah.
Now, this was really interesting. Obviously, you get Odie, one of the fastest guys in the field, right? So we'll let him do his lead run real quick. But the craziest bit is when we get to his chase. I couldn't believe it.
Manoa's just right there.
Manoa's just beautiful run, right? Okay.
We get it.
Manoa, you can chase. All right, so let's see about this lead. Okay, this is Odie's bread and butter, right? He's going to just push him around the track, right? But no. All right, let's send these guys. What are we waiting on? I just love how the lights are nowhere near Sopa.
Damn, AK, I didn't know that. Orlando pissed him off, charging $3 for water, but putting card only, but then having the audacity to have a $10 minimum purchase on card.
Oh my gosh.
That
What
sucks.
assholes.
Wow.
And
That
Eric,
is,
I
can see
agree.
that. But yeah, so let's watch this chase because it's kind of the same story as Osbo, honestly.
Yeah, it starts off hot.
Yeah, so obviously Odie's right there, you know, pretty similar. A little bit
Do
more
what he's got to do.
jolt. Yeah,
Does his
decent
thing, and then
transition.
Manoa's transition
and
though
then
was
it's just
Wow.
like,
so
see ya,
good.
buddy.
Like
Just
he
pulls all the gap
literally,
on Odie. It's like,
Manoa said,
such an
"Fuck a
aggressive-
decel zone."
Yeah, such an aggressive transition.
Like truly, that kid just transitioned on like a pin. Like put like a little fork in the middle of him, and his car just rotated on a pivot.
Yeah, whatever
he
they
just
did to that 8.6, let me know, because that was just...
it just keeps going in the lower
Yeah,
part of the
My
course,
God.
dude.
rotated and then just matted the fucking throttle, and yeah,
It's so
yeah,
good.
that was pretty hype. That was awesome to see.
All right, back to the Castro field after the second battle here, and you know, it's so cool to see, like, you know, Castro and Manoa up into these top 4 battles, like showing that they deserve to be there. You know,
Yeah.
putting the runs down. It wasn't like an easy win for anyone. I mean, Odie lost, so it's like, and Matt Field loses here, and it's so cool.
Would love to see a third place battle.
Dude, Matt Field and Odie would have been so good.
What a battle that would have been.
All right, let's keep her moving here.
What
Almost
was
to the
what
finals.
was the videos that they used to do together?
Frenemies.
Frenemies,
that's right.
Yeah, on Donut.
Yeah. Although it is really hard to see. I will say that the smoke just did not want to leave.
When the TV cameras are having a tough time,
you know, you're even having a worse time.
Yeah, everybody's like, the human eye couldn't see.
Yeah.
Like there was a point during practice that if you were like right where like they were coming down the bank, you know, the crow's nest area, when they would pass, if the wind started to blow, which it seemed like it always decided to start blowing as soon as they were coming down the bank, you could not see them with your own eyes going around out zone 2. I couldn't believe it. I was giggling. And this time I made sure not to complain or mention it more than 2 times, because last year when I said it, everybody in the chat was like, we get it. It's like, yo, but it's crazy to truly not be able to see from tire smoke. It's wild.
I have an interesting question that I think the chat, I forget who in the chat brought it up, but the question is, do you think higher qualifying drivers should pick if they want to lead or chase?
Oh, like what Drift Masters is doing?
Mm-hmm.
No, especially with the seating bracket. Fuck no. That makes no sense. Because if it was qualifying, yeah, let's do that, because you earned it. But because you're getting, you know, your previous round over, that would make no sense. That would just ruin things, because it just, from a sporting perspective, doesn't make any sense.
But okay, so here's the thing: there is an argument to be made. And I'm totally messed up. I'm gonna end the poll because I totally messed it up.
Do you hire? No, it's cool.
Yeah,
it's cool.
I totally messed that up.
This guy is fucking. He's crazy. He's sauced up over here.
Clearly, dude. Doesn't
maybe
have
you're
a
fully loaded,
formula or how to type proper sentences.
Listen, I was doing 3 things at once.
That's typing the description and adding the 2 yes or no. And
No.
wait, no, doing the poll, remembering to breathe, and having to answer a question.
I don't know. I think like there is that argument where it's like, that's just the sporting of Formula Drift, and it'd be cool to throw it in there because that driver earned it from the last round. But at the same time, it's just giving a driver that benefit just doesn't make sense, especially if there's no qualifying for that round.
Right.
So,
Well, I don't know. I feel like at this round especially, we saw it multiple times where the guy that leads first loses tire in the chase, and that's always been a challenge,
yeah.
And especially at Orlando. And I think it was a challenge at Irwindale as well. That's why we get some unique winners at Irwindale, I feel like, as well, just because being in the chase at Irwindale, I think, was also an advantage when it came to tires. So Orlando is another spot where it's like that, and it would be interesting to see if we could rerun the event and they had this opportunity to see what drivers would actually go in the chase first. I think it would be fascinating to see.
I think you'd see a lot of the victors choosing chase first over like just truly for that tire consumption purpose. And I know that it's like there's benefits to both, but honestly, and if it were me, maybe I just don't know anything, I would choose chase probably every time. Unless it was like against somebody that like in my head my odds are like, all right, well, you have like a 90% chance to just win, just drive the course. I would probably then do like a lead, because then I would just try to do the craziest heater in the lead, and then hopefully, maybe take him to Applebee's a little bit. But overall, I think the odds of that, I would just probably want to chase more often.
Hugh's like, it's more of a gimmick than anything else and adds nothing. I don't agree, honestly. I think being able to choose who leads in first, I think, is a huge advantage.
Yeah, I think the Drift Masters thing showed like it's good.
Yeah, and there's a couple guys that did choose to chase first in Drift Masters. Yeah. But I think, like you said, the tire consumption tracks, I think, will be a lot more varied than it would be on like a track like, say, New Jersey, where the tire consumption is not really a problem.
Yeah.
So that's where I think it would be really interesting to see. Okay, if you actually had the choice, what would you do? Because I think Osbo would probably like his run back, because he was clearly out of tire, and so was Odie. Going against Manoa, so it would be really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, part of the strategy, you just gotta strategize having your car set up where if it's less wheel speed or whatever it is, just to keep that tire going. Part of it, part of the game.
Mm-hmm. See, I can't vote, but I would have said yes.
What do you mean you can't vote?
I don't know.
Because he's hosting the poll.
Yeah. I can't vote.
Yeah.
But I would have said yes, but the no's win at 56%, so I find that kind of interesting. You guys just want them to suffer. I get it, Brandon made a good enough argument, I guess. Whatever.
Look at that, dude.
Hey.
All right.
I did giggle actually at Jeremy saying I'm with Brandon on this one, and in my head, just by him saying that, and like this is just me being funny in my head. That just means that he doesn't agree with shit else that you said. You know what? Actually, I do.
You know what? I agree. I'm a controversy. I think I have some controversy, and that's okay. It's part of the fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't really think. Yeah. I think
opinions are good.
We're pretty close most of the time. I think.
Yeah.
We're controversial.
Yogi with the firsthand. I was with 3 really god drivers watching at the end, and most of the top dogs want to run chase first. And yeah, that makes complete sense because you put it in the other dude's court for their chase.
Yeah, so, I got a really good question coming up here in the poll. So you guys ready for this one?
Oh gosh.
Did you proofread it?
No.
Oh. Is Castro a championship contender?
Oh, yes. Good question.
Well, do you mean this year?
Yes, this year.
Huh.
Oh. First?
Yep, first place, bud.
Okay, wait. How do I?
All right,
I
I'm
thought
just
we
gonna.
meant like top 3
No,
or.
dude,
Yeah, that's what I
championship
was
That's
thinking.
contender.
what I
Maybe
was thinking.
just getting the trophy.
No, dude, he is in 4th place right now, behind Manoa, who's tied with him, and then Dean and
And
Osbo.
Odie, who's also tied with.
Oh yeah, and Odie.
Yeah.
This is one of those you.
I
Like,
think he could get a top 3 this year.
I think you get a top 3. First, I had to hit the no. That's
Yeah, I think
There's
I'm
only
gonna,
one
like,
championship winner, so if that's the
exactly.
question.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know. That's why I just I
If
don't know.
Castro turns it up like 5% more in his chases, I would say yes.
Yeah, Celine says he lacks
5%.
consistency.
That
I
too.
do I
Yeah.
do agree. Like when he's at a good event, like when he's doing well, he typically ends up, driving well the rest of that event. It is rare that he
He did
is
get a top
on
4
and then off.
place in
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Yep.
Yeah, and
So
that's
we'll
like,
see in Jersey. Let's see what happens. That's in a
yeah.
few weeks, and we'll see.
But I
Completely
feel
different course from Atlanta and Orlando.
I feel like if he is like off his game, he remains off his game for that round. Like he doesn't like make any huge strides to like be his good driving, the self that we just saw during Orlando this week. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just making things up in my head, but that's how I kind of view it.
Interesting. Yeah, because I mean, if a Yogi points out everyone has like got the same level of points, I mean, it's only 3 events, so that kind of makes sense. I was hoping to have a couple more seating bracket guys up here that would kind of mess things up, like Stookie, who's got that off number of 32.
Yeah, Stukey's still in top 12 with 2 top 16s and a 32 exit, which is, crazy. But yeah.
He's so chapped up about it. It's so funny.
It just, the points don't make sense mathematically,
Well, they do make sense mathematically.
Well, yeah, everything. Nah, I'm not getting into it again. It's all right. It's all right.
I know.
I would say, like, Jeremy Cook makes a good point. Like, Castro has been driving well, but luck has definitely been on his side. Like, if Sorensen didn't have his steering rack, mess up, who would have said that, that he would have won that, or it would have gone OMT or
I would have
whatever.
put
Again,
money on Brandon to win that.
yeah, again, it's what ifs, but it was decent bit of luck this round. Same with Atlanta, there was some luck to it.
Yeah. Well, Chat also agrees and is not a believer yet in Castro. We got 77% said no, 22% said yes.
You almost had us, dude, at the front, where
Yeah.
championship
then I
contender.
changed it up. I was like, nope,
I'm thinking,
I said
I'm like,
championship.
well, he really means championship, and there is only one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just curious because he's hanging around there. Same with Manoa. I'd be curious. I probably should ask that question again about Manoa, but I feel like Manoa was in that conversation for a championship this year.
That's gonna be a tough one for him because Osbo and Dean aren't gonna. They're more than likely not gonna get knocked out in a 32, and neither is Manoa more than likely. But there is that chance for him. I feel like more so than these other guys. I don't know. Could be wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and that's the fun part about this sport. And so let's actually look at the top. You got the top 10 here. We got Frederick Ospo still in the lead at 110 points. It's kind of interesting. The points are so much lower this year, so it makes it kind of look closer than it really is. Because you could say, well, Chris Forsberg and Adam LZ are at 50 points. They're only 60 points away, but in order to get a 60-point gap over someone else, you need
to win a whole event and then and then hope that they get knocked out in 32 and
so they're there's actually some pretty huge point discrepancies still, and even after just 3 events. But Frederick Osbo 10 points ahead of Dean, so Dean really just needs to get one more place higher than Osbo, then he's right back in there with Osbo. Manoa and Castro and Odie are all tied in third place with 80 points. Again, you're going to need one of those guys to actually win an event, probably, to really start getting in that conversation again for a championship.
Yeah.
Out of those three, who would you pick? Actually, that's a good chat one. Who's placing highest this season? Odie, Manoa, or Castro?
Manoa.
Really?
I agree.
Yes.
I'm picking Odie.
No. Something just... I don't know what it is. Something just seems a little off with Odie this year. I don't know what it is. It's like usually he's like seconds and like first, and it was just like eights.
Yogi did mention it would be crazy because with it being by tens, like if you're not in the seating ever, it could end up in a tie.
Yeah.
Like ultimately, and he's like, it would be crazy a 4-way tie at Long Beach too, and it has to be a Final Four battle. Like
that would be crazy. That would be pretty nuts.
Well, chat's picking Odie.
Well,
I disagree with you guys.
I haven't voted yet.
Chat doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about, frankly.
Oh man.
Damn, AK going. Think it's time for
Damn,
Odie to
AK,
retire.
That's just rude. That's just rude.
I don't want Odie to retire because every time he pulls up to the line, I expect really great things to happen. I think during Orlando, I was shocked when he did honestly get.
Oh, lost him again. Tell him to stop leaving the stream. Can you guys just stop leaving the stream?
You.
Chat is blind.
Well, I don't even remember what I was saying. Oh, I didn't think that Odie was looking that great this weekend. I think that
Brandon again. Well, you know what? The freaking what is this? Streamlabs is doing it for me, so I don't even have to kick these guys. It automatically, there's like an automatic setting in Streamlabs where you're like, you know what, this guy's talking out of his ass, kick him. And that's what they do.
Do you hear me now?
Yes, you're back on stream.
I don't think Odie looked that great during the weekend. And then I think that I was shocked when I saw him at get podium, honestly.
Yeah, fuck do I know, you know?
Like I truly on his entries there were multiple times I was like, oh my god, he's going in the wall. And then he somehow pulled out of it. He was just
He did it against Simon.
Yeah. He was very shallow on his angle and things and aggressive.
The other thing he does is he decels at the end of the first outer zone.
Yeah.
Every time.
He pulls that handbrake there.
Yeah.
So
now I don't know if the judges ever said anything about it, but he does decel where he's not supposed to decel, but he does that. And gets away with it. But
hello, Reese. The battles were sick. Well, you did a great job judging them.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, Reese, I have a question for you, bud.
No.
How did you get designated as the talker of the judges? Like, did other judges just not want to talk, or because it literally just goes to
a Formula Drift podcast?
I'll make my own Talk to a podcast.
We're on the Talk to a Tuesday podcast.
Oh man.
Oh, actually, Manoa is now in the. Oh, it's 50-50 Manoa Castro. Manoa Odie, now in the chat.
Damn, has Castro even got one?
No, I'm sorry. No
Man,
one believes.
Well, what time is it in the Dominican Republic right now? Is it
same time zone? Same one.
Same time zone.
Same.
I was just hoping for him. All right, I was hoping maybe the fans were. They just don't know. They don't know yet that they need to be on Tuesday's stream.
Yeah. Malik asked, do you think the driving from Odie it can be attributed to JTP being a spotter?
What did you just say?
Huh? Yeah, get repeat it for the one time.
All right, so Malik's question.
Oh, Malik's question.
Yeah.
Where is he?
Think it could be attributed to JTP being a spotter?
No. What? Like Odie not being like...
No, him. Oh, well, maybe him doing well or him doing
I think
kind of
Odie's
crazy
doing
stuff.
good this year. It's
He
just
is.
like he's doing different things than he has been in the past, which is, it just sticks out a bit. Like he's doing, different entry styles, or he's doing X, Y, and Z or whatever. And he's just, I think it's good because it's like I feel like this year's he's growing as a driver. And if he doesn't get it this year, then like next year, 115% he'll get it because he's just growing this year. And I think JTP is definitely helping with that because he has a very different mindset when it comes to competitive drifting, a different approach, if you will. Yeah.
Reese says Odie's playing possum, very deadly. Also, AK asked, when is Reese gonna come on? Reese can come on whenever he wants. He just gotta hit me up, message me, he's on. Okay, I'll kick anyone else off of here.
Reese is also a busy man. I'm sure he
Yes.
enjoys sometimes having a little bit of his free time, even though he's in the chat right now. It's like different. It's like when you're at like your regular job and you get off 5 o'clock hits, you hang out for another 15 minutes. It's like, this ain't that bad. That's because you're not working anymore.
Right?
You're not actually doing anything. You're still at that place. But sorry, but who is JTP? Justin Pollock. He drove the Falcon Mustang all those years. The RX-7 FC. What else did he have? 350Z or something like that.
I don't even know.
He's had a lot of stuff.
He's had a bunch of different things. He's been around for a while. He's a good man. Helped Bistrack actually set up his car. Continues to help Bistrack set up his car remotely, but nonetheless, he is the knowledge. Him and good old Mr. Scott from RTR team right now. He is on.
Yeah.
All right, so let's hit up the. I know you wanted to look at the tire standings. How do I get to those?
It's the pro standings and scroll all the way to the bottom. Yeah, we got
there we go. Oh, they're down
manufacturer, auto, whatever cup, and the tire cup.
Okay, so you got Toyota, Nissan up top, and then you got BMW. I don't know. So how do you guys feel about BMW being put on there, even though they don't really support drifting?
What BMW?
The E46s, dog. What?
Yeah, all the E46s.
They're just
I
saying.
thought it has to be like BMW motor. No.
I thought that the Auto Cup only included just the sponsored, like from factory, like Ford, Toyota, Nissan.
I thought it's
because the question is like, are you going off chassis or motor?
Sorry, AK added in chat. I thought it was off of engine and chassis. So like Toyota points is Toyota engine, Toyota chassis. Nissan is Nissan chassis, Nissan engine. BMW engine, BMW chassis.
They're pretty clearly not doing that.
Well, maybe they're talking about Rome.
Rome, forgot about that. Rome and Jack.
Jack, yep. And
what is A90 counted as? What are we doing there?
That's got
what,
the Supra?
Yeah.
That's got Toyota motor, no?
B58 is definitely a BMW motor.
Oh yeah.
It's in the Toyota from factory, so technically that would fall under the.
Yeah.
What comes in those turds?
Yeah, but just how did BMW get so many points at Long Beach? They got to count it as BMW or something, because that doesn't make sense. Because Rome and Jack didn't do that great. I don't know. The main thing we want to look at was the tire cup. No, because that's a 2J.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird series,
Yeah.
But the tire series is actually the interesting one. Look who's on top here.
Dimitri. That's BMW.
But he does. I don't know where that 60 points at Long Beach can. Let's just move to the tires. Let's move to the tires.
Yeah, the tires are the interesting one. Because Kenda's on top this year. Who would have thought after last year that Kenda would be on top?
They have.
Isn't that wild?
They have cool logo.
They got two very good new drivers this year, so that checks out.
Yeah, and they've really been pushing the envelope to progress their products. So
yeah, and like
all of them really have.
Well, Kenda last year wasn't really anything special in terms of tire, and they just made a huge upgrade this year with their tires, and it seems to be for a lot of the drivers that are on them seem to be doing really well.
Yeah, they're definitely doing the thing out there, and you know how you've stated and we've talked about, like, all these companies you can't count any of them out, honestly. Like, you know, Kumo at the bottom there, but dude, they have.
I don't think that this point sheet's also accurate, because there's no way Kumo got 9 points in Long Beach when Chris Forsberg went to the grade 8. You know, that doesn't. Isn't adding up.
You make a good point here.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, Nitto with just 3.5 drivers on it, and there's still
the half driver.
Vaughn.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Who's the half? Is there a midget out there? I hope I could say that word. Whoa,
little person. Come on, dude.
Christ.
Is there a vertically challenged individual?
You know, I don't care, but apparently YouTube cares.
I don't care.
We'll find out.
Your elbow.
You know, I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, so I don't think any of these numbers are correct.
No, yeah.
But anyways, the main topic of discussion is Kumo.
Yes.
So, what can I say and what I can't say is the question.
Public knowledge.
So the public knowledge part is that a factory, I don't remember where they're made.
Korea
got burnt up. And it was the factory that made the tires that they use in FD. I forget what they're called. And no more of those tires are being made this year. So whatever has been made and is in the States is what can be used this year. And I've heard rumors on what that number is, but I know that at least what I was told initially is that all the Kumo drivers were limited to 10 tires this round in Orlando. I don't know if that's true or not, or if they were just like trying to ration them out and wait for drivers to get knocked out, or to use them, or wait to use tires for competition. But so
maybe it was
as
10
of
for practice, and then as you need them, maybe.
Still not optimal.
Right.
No, that's only
now there's a massive tire shortage for Kumo drivers, and there's a lot of confusion, I think, going between a lot of them, because contracts are kind of a little ambiguous with a lot of them, because some of them you're like, oh, you're supposed to be allotted this amount of drivers or this amount of tires for these events or something, but some of them are just like, okay, I'll have tires for these events, but they don't ever specify a tire amount. So it'll be interesting to see as the year goes on if some people start to drop off of Kumo just because of tire availability.
Yeah.
So that's something to kind of keep an eye out for. It's a really crappy scenario for Kumo, obviously, when your factory burns to the ground, and I heard there's a lot of they're getting sued for a lot of issues and that were caused in the area, and it's a bad deal. It's a bad deal all around for Kumo. And then the fact that they got quite a few drivers this year running their tires.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of confusion before this event, and I don't know if anything has been figured out for the rest of the rounds, but I do know that I think it's do they have a 305? I think it's a 305.
295.
Is it 295? Okay, 295. Those are extremely limited, and some drivers might have to go run the 275s.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
So definitely not the happiest camper are those drivers, you know.
To say the least, yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's frightening, and especially for Forsberg too, making the switch to Kumo this year, and this wasn't, I'm sure, on one, it wasn't on Kumo's, but definitely not on Chris's
Plan.
forecast. So of what was to be happening,
Yeah,
and it's just another stressful thing to throw into the mix of all the other stressful things that you got. So like for anybody that doesn't know, like if there are a lot of 10 tires, and like I said, if hopefully and maybe
That's 5
you get
runs.
10,
Or
yeah,
sorry,
you
10
get
runs.
10 runs, but like hopefully that's for your practice, and like ultimately even that 10 runs you're allotted 12, so you're gonna be
You're already at a
short
disadvantage.
you're at a disadvantage, and like who's to say, like that's if you do get that many runs, but
I know Kuma was happy about all the delays from the first day. I know drivers did not get their 12 allotted runs this round.
yeah, that's for dang sure. Yeah,
Because of all the
everybody was
delays.
shorted on quite a bit of practice time. Could Tire Streets pick up some drivers?
Theoretically.
Yeah,
they do what? GTs, tire streets?
Yes.
yeah,
Well, then it's the GT thing, and
yeah.
GTs seems to be pretty specific about what drivers they do and don't pick up, and that would just be on tire streets to shell out the
Yeah,
dollars.
they would.
Vitor come back? No.
So what happens if they run out mid comp? Can they switch? Ultimately, yeah.
Yeah, it's just
I
they
mean,
have to fit to the weight is all it is.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Like
so
you
the
could
only
run a
rules
tinier
is you can
tire.
run whatever you have to run an FD approved tire. So it doesn't really matter what the brand is. You can run any FD approved tire. Now, if you're sponsored by a certain tire company and you run another tire, I don't think they'd be too happy about it. But
Yeah.
if they don't have a tire for you, that's their own fault. To be honest,
just don't show it on your Instagram stories or your posts or your YouTube videos, and you'll probably be okay.
Yes, but and then the other rule is you need to be at a certain weight for a certain tire size.
But yeah, you could
bigger
run
the
a
tire, the heavier the car
255.
needs to be. The smaller the tire, the lighter car can be. So as long as you're in the legal boundaries, yes, people can jump in and around tires if they have to, which I know they don't want to do because you practice on a certain tire, you get used to a certain tire, you don't want to be changing mid competition.
Yeah, Jeremy Cook, Tire Street sells Vitors. Do you just like Vitors or something? I don't know what to tell you. It's not an approved tire anymore.
Yeah, they didn't
and to be to open up the door, open up the curtains. There's a lot of politics within FD when it comes to what tires are and aren't approved.
A lot of it's
I was going to say a story, but maybe I shouldn't say it because I don't know how public knowledge it is. But just know some tire companies will push out other tire companies because of either
there's a very
specific
tire company over in
Drift
Masters that is not an FD because other tire companies would not be an FD.
Don't want,
if that tire company came over here.
Yeah.
To not say names without saying names.
Yeah.
There's a reason that tire company is not over here in FD. They tried.
Yeah.
They tried, and then
I'm glad that they're not though.
Yeah, I mean it kind of makes
because everyone would just run them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like people would just be like, "All right, well, what's the budget this year? Well, we're paying for tires, I guess, because we didn't get the sponsorship, but we can't not use these." So, yeah. So I mean, yeah, it is crazy news. Very unfortunate.
But the thing is people have to realize that the thing with Vitor is they just couldn't afford to pay for another season or whatever. Or like they just didn't see the value in it or whatever, because they have to pay to be approved.
Yeah,
it's kind of a weird thing, but
because you're not just like supplying tires to drivers, you're also an official tire sponsor of Formula Drift. So don't know the numbers, but like GT Radial being the like monopolized tire company in Pro Spec, I bet they pay a pretty penny in order to have that, that title sponsorship of Pro Spec and then being pro as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, the question is, what's next, and we have no idea. But I am hoping to report on this in the future, and I am luckily friends with a bunch of Gumo drivers, and we'll see what I can get out of them.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go.
What they're
I just
legally
know this
allowed to
situation
talk
was pretty
about.
bleak at the beginning of the round when I was talking to a couple, and they're like, "Yeah, we have no idea what's gonna happen." So
We're just coming out here to have fun this round, I guess.
I know, dude.
Just happy to
A
be
couple of
here.
them were
Also
like, or I know,
miserable.
talking to one of them, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't know if I can run the rest of the season because I can't really afford to pay for tires." I'm like,
Yep.
Wow.
that's shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah, Loco, that was very true. The Long Beach tire debacle, people running on scrubbies. You know, Hansen was definitely one of them. Yes, Valinas are incredibly sticky and very good. Very, very good. Which is, you know, it's great for anything other than FD. Like, I think, sure, go to your pro-am comps, run some Valinos if they allow it, you know,
Yeah,
go
make
ahead.
everyone else mad
Because more than likely, everybody else, if they've heard the brand, is probably going to run them at this point. And if they're not, they're going to be running Acceleras, which are also not the worst, but they're certainly not a GT Kumo, Nido, or Kenda. They are a little more hard of a compound, I think, and
they last a long time.
They do last a while.
Yeah,
they do. And you know, if you're a determined individual, I'm sure that there is a way that you could take down a Volino driver with accelerators, and somehow you keep chopping that line. Everybody will be rooting for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Do they
Well,
last? Yeah, they
we've hit
last.
well past our 2 hour mark. That's for sure.
Have we? No, we have. Look at that.
10.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. Talking
I
about
don't know.
circular rubber discs.
Yeah, little end of the episode recap for you, Herbie from Orlando.
For me?
Yeah, how was almost getting hit by lightning? Was that fun?
Did everybody?
Oh my gosh! And then it kicks him out. Oh man! If you guys have not seen the clip of Herbie almost getting electrocuted, it's actually kind of hilarious and scary at the same time. So, Herbie, you there? Herbie.
What's up, Cooper?
I gotta turn it sideways. Sitting sideways, boys in the hi.
Hey, so
I couldn't hear you before.
Where
you
can
were
people
still black
find the clip of you nearly getting smoked? Where can
I don't know.
Put it on the story.
Post
Put it
it,
on the
dude.
Instagram.
Post it on your channel, buddy.
Wait,
I
let me
told
see
you
it.
This.
Let me see it.
Well, you can't really see the lightning because it's too bright. It fucks up the exposure.
Yeah.
See, and my reaction's kind of silly.
Like, I'm in danger.
That shit was hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So that was bananas.
I had a really good time hanging out with all you guys, and all you guys that are in the chat right now. I did see Hunter was in the chat. Nice to meet you at Orlando there, sir. I missed your, I definitely, unless I'm schizo, but it was a pleasure hanging out with all you guys during the rain. I actually had a blast. New pant goofing, which was a huge plus. That made things a lot less miserable. The shoes, pretty water resistant until obviously there's a monsoon. And it's just inevitable. But like it's just like anything. It's like ripping a band-aid off. You just might as well just get, if you're gonna get wet, you might as well just get wet. And like, so the only reason why, like, after that lightning strike had happened, I left the track out of fear that Andy Luck would pull me out of the track if I didn't get off, because I genuinely was the only individual left in the bowl. So the guy on the announcer thing had made a thing, and it was like, everybody, evacuate the grandstands and like seek shelter. I was like, fuck. I'm like, and then I looked at the chat and I said, I'm like, fuck that, we ain't no bitch. And then that struck, and I was like, oh, I'm like, all right.
Maybe.
I'm like, maybe we don't want to lose our credentials, I'm like,
Yeah.
if I die, I don't have to worry about the consequences of my actions, but the odds of getting electrocuted are pretty low. I get the odds and whatever, so I
Yeah.
got
Well, I
off.
think the odds of you living are higher than dying, so that's the real problem. Is if you
Yeah, then
live, then
I
it's like
it might push hair out of my head. Honestly, that shit fucking it might like push all the follicles. It might be the new growth serum, but otherwise, like it was a great event. I was super pumped for Jack to get that seating bracket win. It was everything that I called beforehand, minus the fact that Daigo got a win and that Federico got a win. I was shocked that the following day you guys weren't in the chat saying, I thought Herbie said they were never going to win. So, you guys could have roasted me a lot harder, or at least had some fun with me, even though we were all pretty much in unison agreement that they weren't going to win. So it's not like anybody disagreed. But good driving, as I guess always now, from Orlando. And I think I'll say I kind of look forward to next year.
Wow, big turnaround.
Yep, I do.
Yeah.
That's 2 in a row, dude. First one, is it a fluke? Second one, it's still pretty good. Why is it still pretty good? And now it's like, if you just go into it with the idea of like, all right, I'm going to get absolutely destroyed out here by either heat or rain or whatever, you're already mentally prepared. It's like, it's out of your control. What is there to be upset about? Like, genuinely, like you can't, unless you can, then reach out to Daily Driver Media and let us know if you can control the weather, because we might be onto some multi-million-dollar deal here. The government would probably want to know about it, but we'll keep this one to ourselves. But yeah, so like anything out of your control, no sense of being upset, and overall everything was a good time. And another solid and fun event put on by Formula Drift, and happy to be there for Daily Driver Media, Mr. Nate.
It was a good time.
Even though
everything
Nate tells
went
me all
nice
the
and
time,
smooth and sailing, and you gotta hang out in a bunk bed up in like next to a ceiling.
I did. That loft was sick. I did, and shout out that loft, because it not only it had like a nice AC vent in there, had Rob's bed was up there too, and mine was over there. They had the wall mounted fans. And after that first day, the first thing I did when we got back, I took my shoes off, fucking took the insoles out, and laid them babies up there with the fan on blast. Woke up the next morning and they were dry as shit, dude. I was so pumped. So pumped. So great Airbnb. Yeah, shout out to what are these Hoka? Yeah, Hokas. Shout out to Hoka. Yeah, because those shoes
the
rip.
shoe brand.
Yeah,
the old people shoes.
The old people shoe, dude. I don't give a fuck what I look like
They're
anymore.
not
We
terrible.
got the pants, we got the shoe. I don't care anymore. Yeah, they're not the worst. I tried to still look kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's impossible.
All right, Brandon, what's going on with you, bud?
I didn't go to Orlando. Kind of glad I didn't, because I know it sucks, but seemingly was good driving wise this year. But yeah, I didn't mean to shit on your parade, Herbie. That was kind of rude. But
honestly, it's really not that bad. And I tell people all the time,
really,
I would rather.
it really is that bad.
I think I want to go. I want to go next year for some other things as well. But yeah, seems cool. Excited
Just
to
don't
go to
bring your
Jersey,
Sims, because those are gonna be.
Yeah, I saw
those.
My boy Dawson from Circle of Drift, like his
Yeah, they had to
canopy
pack their
flew
stuff
away.
up, right?
Yeah, his canopy got all wrecked. Those canopies ain't cheap, dude, to get.
Rudy's pit got destroyed. I heard like a lot of his equipment got flooded out.
By weights,
A lot of
well, it's not even that. No, I guess apparently we gotta pull into and make your pit space, and then put everything up on jacks. You gotta actually
Oh, because it flooded. You got
Yeah,
Lake Orlando Speed World up in that bitch. I forgot
for
about
real.
that.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
Getting to
So
the rental car, since Nate was, relatively dry,
Yeah.
um,
I was
I
running
had
in
to
the
go.
trailer.
Yeah, I had to go trudging through. Dude, I shit you not. This was like 4.5, 5 inches of fucking pure muck puddle, and like it was just water, but like all the fucking
muck
dirt.
puddle.
It was. I was giggling to myself pretty hard walking to the thing. I'm like, this is just stupid. This is just
Yeah.
like,
It wasn't there when we parked the rental car there, and
no, it
then
wasn't. It wasn't. It was a great morning,
Yeah.
and then it wasn't.
What do you call it? I'm excited for Jersey. Hopefully gonna do stuff up there.
You got a car to drive yet, or what?
No. If anyone wants to rent me one though, let me know.
You got a
I'll
lot of
pay
Jersey
for it.
folk in here. If you guys hear
Hey,
that, you want
hey.
old
And
Brandon
if you
Gardner.
got a company that wants a sim experience, hit me up too, Anyway. Gotta plug it. But yeah, no, if anyone wants to rent a car, I'd pay to rent a car to drive whatever. I don't know if I could drive Sunday, but whatever.
Probably not. You
Probably
probably
not.
aren't. Well,
No.
I mean, like
Maybe. I know
you could
Chris. Hey
probably
Chris.
be like a. He has nothing to do with Club
Put
Boost,
me in
unfortunately.
oh, he doesn't.
No,
Shit.
you're shit out of luck
Put
there,
me in
buddy.
Put me in C group. I don't care.
There's
I'll
only
drive
B
over.
and A on Sunday, buddy.
Fucking put me in B then. I don't care. But yeah,
Oh.
no, I got some good stuff coming up with the business, the good old boundless
You
racing.
want to tell him what you did?
Sure, I'll reveal it. It'll be a daily driver media first. I don't think Nate knows either, but
no.
signed the lease and paid the rent on a building. So I got my own building now. So that's
Nice. You got
cool.
new expenses that you don't need.
Yeah, but
Awesome.
hey. No, yeah. I mean, it's in my opinion, I think it's a want and a need just because I'm out of my house and I'm already capped out, and my family lives here, and they're already annoyed by me, and it's kind of like a distraction, and I can't, do. There's a lot of different things that happen with other people in a house, but now I got my own little space and I can host events there, and I can, if I have a lot of
Have
inquiries,
inventory,
have
everything.
inventory. People, I get a lot of inquiries about people like, can I come by and like try your stuff out at a different time? Because right now my only form of showing people the rigs is going to shows. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, but it's like
Yeah.
now
Well,
I
my
could be like,
parents are out at actually
yes.
6 o'clock. They're going to dinner. If you want to swing by.
Exactly. It's fucking lame. And now it's like, it's just another step in the right direction. That is why I'm on the casting couch. You know it.
Yeah.
You know it. Yeah, that's why. So I could pay for the rent of the building. That's why. You gotta get that the side hustle to the business going.
That's
That's
right.
how it works.
Money don't sleep, dude. You had to get right on it. No pun intended.
Literally, dude.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah. Gotta pull a sketch out here. Just kidding. That's not happening.
It's not happening. It already happened.
Yeah,
I know.
exactly.
I already made his money. That's why I got the building now. But okay. I don't know if I gotta update something on Streamlabs. I'm gonna look into it this week. I actually have a little bit of time.
Here we go.
Well, when I get back from Grid
You
Life,
can't
because
see
I'm
or
going to Grid
hear
Life
'em.
this weekend. And I'll
Celine
see.
said, "Well
and
done.
if anyone is
Congrats."
going to Grid Life, I'll see you
I'm gonna
there.
say
It'll be
in
a lot of
chat,
fun.
Thank you very much, Celine.
I
Hi.
think he could hear us.
I can hear you
Oh,
guys when you're
can?
talking.
Okay,
But I
that's
was just
good to
telling
know.
people that
Yeah.
I will be at Grid Life this weekend and
Oh hell yeah!
doing the whole EDM festival thing, hanging out with homies. It's gonna be fun. It's I don't know if I like it better than Hyperfest. I'll be honest. I think Hyperfest is a little bit more car focused, and less EDM focused, which is why I like it a little bit better. But I will say, if you want to go to an event for people watching, Grid Life Midwest is a good one.
I fucking love it, dude. I love just standing up like on like the little hill, like closer on the side to the track, like down the alleyway to the music stage where all the food trucks are. You just sit there. You just watch, man. It's like, yo, this shit is crazy. Like,
some great
I'm about
outfits.
I'm about to be partying with all these motherfuckers tonight. Is crazy.
Yeah, we see a lot of interesting people wearing dresses and stuff that they probably shouldn't be wearing. But you know what? Teach their own, I guess.
I just my thing is I always just think about the smells.
Oh yeah.
I'm just like, man, it's gonna be fucking dank over in that fucking pit this evening. Like, y'all have just been cruising around in some crazy nonsense all day, and you're about to go party hard tonight. Man, and it gets hot there, dude. Why does it get so hot in Michigan?
Yeah, well, we get the worst of everything. So we get super cold and super hot and super humid. So
yeah, it's like very humid.
That's
and
why
hot
it's so cheap to live here, because no one wants to live here. But
I would live in Michigan, dude.
I wouldn't. But yeah, I think we're gonna end off the show here.
All right.
Already 20 minutes over where we're supposed to go, because I'm supposed to do something. But sorry.
You got your own casting couch to take care of.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. That's the problem. I'm already late to that. So, all right, guys.
Can't leave them waiting, dude. The honey packs only last so long. I
know, dude. Thank you for checking out the stream, guys. We had a bunch of you guys in here. If you guys want to like it, that's always appreciated. If you want to share the stream, that's also